What's up, y'all? What's up? Just put some ones up in the building. If you can hear me, all right. All right. Yes, the title. Whoops, let me turn this down. Let me turn this down. I just got to make sure that I hear myself correctly. And yeah, you read the title right. All right. Let me just make sure I hear myself correctly. All right. Let me just make sure I hear myself correctly. Right. All right. Let me just make sure I hear myself correctly. I sound like one of the chipmunks. Hold up. Can you hear me a little bit better? Hold up. Hold up. Can you hear me a little bit better? Hold up. A little better? A little better? All right. So let's get the thing started. Yes, it's about Umar, and there's really not much to say in this. Let me just give this a short intro. I'm trying not to make this thing long, but it may be long because everything about this interview is just more of the same, but whatever. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, y'all. Let's see who's in the building. Yeah, what's going on? What's up, Tristan Spades? What's up, Anita McCrae, Pamela Hankerson? What's going on? Yeah, he never. Again, there's so much Pamela. There's so much bullshit in this interview. But again, but you know what? I really am not surprised. What's up, last call? Tristan. Yeah, Muslim was at the Breakfast Club. Like, let me do this because I saw the interview. I went back, shout out to the people on YouTube who you knew they'd make shorts of it. They make a couple of cuts. All right. I was just focused on the beginning of the show, to be honest with you. The thing he said in the first 7 minutes of the show, which was just disturbing. And listen, as you come in, just hit the like button. Hit the like button. Obviously, you can hit share as well, hit subscribe. All right. And let me say this. I'm going to say this just to get started. Everybody who's coming in the building, let me just say this to get this started. I'm in the process of cleansing my platform a bit, taking down a couple of videos. Well, not taking them down, but maybe like privatizing them, because I have saved all of my lives and stuff, and I'm trying to clean it up, condense it. And with the Umar content that I have, I'm just gonna put it all together and make like a Umar Chronicles and into like a 1 hour thing. Cause I'm just at this stage in the game, there's nothing left to be said. You understand? I mean, this is just wash, rinse, and repeat. I said a while back that Umar can keep this scam going for another 10 years. And after watching this interview and how it went down, obviously some of the comments in there and everything, I believe it. All right. And a lot of people get mad at the black church and, how the black church is using and abusing us. Bro, Umar is using the same tactics as the black church, and you're eating this shit up. Now, there's something in the interview that you guys missed. I think a lot of people missed one of the things in the interview. that was so egregious and so disgusting. And on a lot of sides, and let me say too, shout out to Angela Yee for for putting a halt to the Umar shit after 2 times. Because this is his 6th time, if I'm correct, on the Breakfast Club. 6th or 7th time. His first time was in 2015 when he said at that time that he had $500,000 that the people gave him. What's up, Tanya Gray? Knowledge TV. Yeah, Knowledge, let me tell you something. I used to get up for the donkey of the day. I haven't seen a donkey of the day in like over a year. I really haven't. I mean, unless it was a blatant one. And interestingly enough, because Umar, he talked about he mentioned in his post on his website, well, on his Instagram, pardon me, that on what he was going to discuss, he went through everything, Kyrie, reparations, slavery, Jerry Jones, right? And it made me think, Charlemagne, who's a big Cowboys fan, never gave Jerry Jones donkey of the day. He never did. But let me just get right into it, because like I said, there's nothing left to say about Umar. And the reason I named this the Coon, the Coon Show, or the the reason I named this what I did, the Coon Fest, because Umar's been cooning. This guy loves to talk about how everybody's a coon. This dude's been cooning. But let me just start off and really put in perspective of this show, because I've heard everything he said is just watch, rinse, repeat, and black folk, white supremacy, and all this other bullshit. And yes, I'll touch a little bit on Dion, but which I've spoken about the last time. But we're going to start with this because he said something at the beginning of this show, right, about the school. But let me play something that this man said on the Breakfast Club last year, all right, that will put things in kind of perspective, all right? So here we go. Let's listen. Where are we at here? Yes. This is from the Breakfast Club over a year and a half ago. Listen to this, folks.
Now, last time you were up here, we were talking about your school and the school that you opened.
FDMG Academy.
The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. It's a bittersweet report, brothers, because let me make it real simple so y'all can understand this. We have 2 schools, right? They look across the street at one another. The Marcus Garvey building is the elementary school, and the Frederick Douglass building is much larger. It's the high school. Mm-hmm. Now, we're focusing on the Garvey building right now, right? If you were to say, how soon can that building be ready? It can be ready in 3 weeks. We only have 3 weeks worth of repairs, 3 weeks worth of HVAC, 3 weeks worth of electric, 3 weeks worth of plumbing. Mm-hmm. So if, hypothetically speaking, if a black tradesman, a black HVACer said, I'm going to come volunteer, I'm going to fix the system, you have to pay for all of the materials, but I'm going to donate my time. Mm-hmm. If an electrician, if a plumber said, we're going to donate our time to fix the system, but you have to pay for all the material, the school would be up and running in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. That's all we have. Mm-hmm. The problem is, Charlemagne and Envy, is I haven't come across black folks who are willing to donate their time. That's one. Mm-hmm. So we have to raise enough money to pay market rate for those repairs. Mm-hmm. So the HVAC, the bills that I'm getting are ranging from $250 on up. The plumbing, the bills I'm getting are ranging from like $150 on up. Mm-hmm. You see, mm-hmm. So we have to raise about $300,000 just to handle that. Where if we had some black folk who was willing to donate their time, the school would be up and running in 3 weeks.
I wonder if they change their perspective of how they look at this, right? Like, you bought the building, but I would look at it like a startup.
Outright, we own it, no mortgage.
Yeah, I would look at it like it's a startup. And this is what you're doing.
They're in good shape.
The
schools they're modern. They're not old. This was a charter school that was renovated at the tune of $13 million back in 2010. This is 2021. The school is only 10, 11 years old. They are modern. They're in good shape. The only thing we have to do is the plumbing, the electric, and the HVAC. We don't have to do no new construction. It's only repair. And that's why it's so frustrating for me, because it's only 3 weeks worth of repairs, not a month, not a year, 3 weeks worth of repairs, and the school could be up and running. So if I were Mexican, the school be done. If I were Chinese, the school be done. If I was East Indian, if I was Arab, if I was European Jew, if I was Italian, the school be done. It's only because it's us that we don't take something like this as serious.
So it's like raising money in another round for a startup company.
Raising the money in another round for like a startup company.
Well, tell them where to send donations.
Well, the donation should go to cash.me/FDMG school. So if you're on the Cash app, it's $FDMG school. If you're PayPal, it's paypal.me/FDMG Academy.
Okay.
So Cash app is FDMG school. PayPal is FDMG Academy. They can also mail check a money order, and that information is on my website at drumarjohnson.com. They can also join the Loyal Donors Club. So that's an automatic contribution every month. $50 a month, bronze, $100 a month. Silver, $250 is gold, $500 is platinum, and $1,000 a month is diamond.
Gotcha.
Why do you think that, you said if you were Mexican or if you were Asian, why do you think that black people don't want to support or is not supporting, or do you feel that, you're not getting the support that you should be getting?
Now, here's the point, and that's a great question, Envy. It's not that black people don't support other black people. We are not used to being responsible for building our own institutions. Are you following me? If I was opening up a nightclub,
look at the date on the bottom.
some sort of a summer basketball league, I would have the support. But we are not accustomed to being responsible for building our own institutions. So, for example, if you look around America, can you show me a single independent black community in 50 states? 50 states. You can't show me one black community where we own the hospital, the bank, the school, and the supermarket. And the reason I point out those 4 institutions, Envy, is because you need the supermarket to feed the people, the school to teach the people, the hospital to save the people, and the bank to invest in the people. So those are the 4 essential institutions of an independent community. You don't have those 4 in any black town anywhere in the United States, and we are a $2 trillion people. How do you explain that? And I would say slavery, one of the psychological residuals of slavery, it took from us that natural desire to want to control your environment and your destiny. If you notice, when ethnic nationals come to America, the first thing they do is look for, where are we going to build our first community? That's the first thing, because it is natural to want to control your environment. It is natural to guarantee your children their future. Black people don't do that. When we wake up, the first thing we think about is, what can I buy to make myself look more important than other black people? You see, so our whole orientation towards life is different from other groups as a result of slavery.
Guys, that was my fault. All right, there was an echo. I don't want you to miss any of this. I'm going to play again where the echo was.
Here's the point, and that's a great question, Envy. It's not that black people don't support other.
And we got
so that's an
Envy and all his light skin in this telling
$50
bullshit.
a month, bronze, $100 a month, silver, $250 is gold, $500 is platinum, and $1,000 a month is diamond. Gotcha.
Why do you think that, you said if you were Mexican or if you were Asian, why do you think that black people don't want to support or is not supporting, or do you feel that, you're not getting the support that you should be getting?
Now, here's the point, and that's a great question, Envy. It's not that black people don't support other black people. We are not used to being responsible for building our own institutions.
Bullshit.
Are you following me? If I was opening up a nightclub, some sort of a summer basketball league, I would have the support. But
wait a minute. I mean, the fact that you just contradicted yourself. That shows you that black people do build shit. And yes, they build schools and they build institutions and companies and corporations and all that shit. All right. And they're motivated to build more when they see there's progress, unlike the bomb shelter you got going down in Delaware. Again, look at the date on the bottom. It's back in April 26, 2021.
Are not accustomed to being responsible for building our own institutions. So, for example, if you look around America, can you show me a single independent Black community in 50 states?
Yes.
50 states, you can't show me one Black community where we own the hospital, the bank, the school, and the supermarket. And the reason I point out those 4 institutions, Envy, is because you need the supermarket to feed the people, the school to teach the people, the hospital to save the people, and the bank to invest in the people. So those are the 4 essential institutions of an independent community. You don't have those 4 in any Black town anywhere in the United States, and we are a $2 trillion people. How do you explain that? And I would say slavery, one of the psychological residuals of slavery, it took from us that natural desire to want to control your environment and your destiny. If you notice, when ethnic nationals come to America, the first thing they do is look for, where are we going to build our first community? That's the first thing, because it is natural to want to control your environment. It is natural to guarantee your children their future. Black people don't do that. When we wake up, the first thing we think about is, what can I buy to make myself look more important than other Black people? You see, so our whole orientation towards life is different from other groups as a result of slavery. What would you say to people?
Now, folks, that was everything he says. He's talking about what he does. All right. Now, that was over a year and a half ago. All right. And shout out to Transcript, Ocho Quas. What's up, Tristan Townsend? Yes, Christian, we know that. Howard Union, the medical center is Black owned. I mean, this dude, this was last year. Alana Jones, what's up? Frank Wright, what's up? What's going on? Identity withheld. What's up? But am I sounding like a chipmunk again, by the way? Because I can pull out the mic and not let that happen. Hold on, let me just double check here.
Sounding like a chipmunk again.
Yes, I am. All right. Double check here. Yes, I am. Hold on. All right, let's try this now. I got it. I mean, it worked the last time where it wasn't like that. All right, let's try this now. It's a little better. It's better. It's better now. But yeah, man. That was last year, folks. That was last year. So over a year and a half. I'm sorry, not a year. This is over a year and a half, folks. Because April of last year to April of this year, and we're now in December. So this is like a year and a half plus, almost 2 years. Well, this was your boy Papa this morning. All right. Let's listen to what Papa had to say this morning. And this is about the school. Listen to Charlemagne as well. And this is why we don't, there is no Black press. Listen to this shit.
Now, last time you were up here, we were talking about your school and the school that you opened.
FDMG Academy.
The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. It's a bittersweet report, brothers, because...
And first things first, man, congrats on the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. I've been paying attention. I see that you got the building.
Yes, sir.
You've been doing renovations on the building.
Sorry about that.
HVAC in, all kind of other stuff.
We're just about done. Electric is awaiting a permit. HVAC is awaiting controls. They're actually at the school right now. Plumbing is just about done. They got one more piece. Fire alarm is done. They got to check one more piece to that. The monitoring system is done. I'm hoping by the end of the calendar year we can get our inspection and have a grand opening in February, hopefully.
And you waiting on, you got to get accreditation too, or?
Nah, well, your accreditation comes from the state.
Got you.
So it's the state that gives you the license to operate. If you want accreditation beyond that, you can seek out professional accreditation bureaus, but that's not legally required.
Man, why don't you talk about that more, Dr. Umar, especially being that they tried to clown you for so long about, not having the school.
I don't mind that because if you know that your mission is genuine, it's no need to respond to the negativity because at some day, the fruit of your works will manifest.
Ooh.
You follow?
Yeah,
so my thing is, why argue when you know one day they're going to see the school?
Now, talk about the process, because it was a long process.
It was a very long process.
Trials and tribulations and hurdles. So
yes, sir.
Talk about that a little bit and what you had to get through, and also getting funding.
Yes, sir. We took our first donation in St. Louis 2014. We heard about the St. Paul's College, which was an HBCU closed in Virginia. They wanted $2 million, so we tried to raise it as quickly as we can. That was a bit ambitious. We didn't succeed. It was sold to an Asian company. Unfortunately, an HBCU sold to another race, I think, is a great disappointment for us as a people. So then we just started looking for a day school. So I went to Chicago, Detroit, Florida, Ohio, all over the country. I was just flying, looking for a school. And then in 2017, I was on LoopNet, which was my main source of new property, and I saw this campus in Wilmington, Delaware, that I had heard about but never had a chance to see. So I'm on my way to Nat Turner celebration, August 21st, 2017, the Great North American Eclipse. I stopped, I saw the campus, I said, this looks pretty nice. When I got back from Nat Turner, I had to go to Cuba first to get my Ifa initiation. I practiced Yoruba spirituality. Came back from Cuba, and I got a chance to go into the school, and I saw it. I said, we want this school, but they wanted $2 million. We couldn't afford that. We only had $500,000. So I negotiated with them from August of 17 until February of 19, and they finally decided to sell us the building for the money that we had.
Wow.
So now we got the building. So what's been going on the past 3.5 years? Getting contractors who you can trust to help you with it. And contractors were not kind to us, man. They ripped us off. They scammed us. They stole out the building. The con is real. The con and contractor
I've been dealing with it for the last 5 years.
is very real, brother.
Absolutely.
And then finally, we had our second FDMG festival this past September the 10th. And I said, you know what? We may have to step outside the African-American community to get this done because we've been waiting 3 years for our people to help us. Not for free. We could afford to pay them, but they wasn't being honest with us and straight up. And, of course, we know that's not all of our contractors. We want to be clear. We've met a lot of decent contractors along the way. But the ones who we had to use because they was licensed and certified where we are, they didn't really do us right. So I said, let's go with some white folks. And guess what? Here we are 90 days later, and the white contractors have gotten us to the finish line in 3 months versus 3 years waiting on our own people.
So what does that say?
It says that we need the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy.
Word.
It says that black boys have to be raised and trained in how to be black men and how to be committed to the black community, because I think as a community we've lost our integrity, our honor, our loyalty, and our commitment. If I was who I am for black people, for the Mexican-American community, that school would have been done 3 years ago. If I was who I am to the Asian community, the Anglo-Saxon community, the Native American community, that school gets done the first year we purchased it. We're not sitting here 3.5 years after purchase, just now getting to the finish line and needing white people to get us there.
And what is the curriculum going to look like?
In addition to your required math, science, language, and social studies, we're going to have financial and economic science, critical, how to do your own taxes, real estate, international investments, business planning. Because as we've talked about before, going to college is not automatically a recipe for success, but it is automatically a recipe for debt. So for those young men who want to go to college, we want to give them that ability to do that, but we also want to give them other means of making an economic impact and survival plan for their lives. So we got financial and economic. We have dietary and nutritional, how to eat to live, a lot of your Dr. Sebi type of information. Dr. Laila Africa, rest in peace to both of them. That will be in there. Agricultural and agronomical. We're going to teach them how to grow. They have to grow their own food in order to graduate. We have to become agriculturally self-sufficient. In addition to that, spiritual and astrological science. I want our young men to understand how African people related to God before Abraham, before Jesus, before Muhammad. Those religions, in all due respect to all of them, they're only Christianity is 2,000 years old. Islam is 1,500 years old. Judaism is about 4,000 or 5,000 years old. But traditional African culture and spirituality is more than 250,000 years old. We dealt with God far longer from a non-Abrahamic tradition than we have from an Abrahamic tradition. Nothing's wrong with those. But I want our children to understand how we deal with the ancestors, how we deal with the earth and the land. And so we're going to have that. There will also be science of the black family. So that includes science of the black man, the black woman, the black child, how to be a gentleman, how to take care of your woman, how to raise your children, how to be a leader in the community. And, of course, there will be military, and political science, if I didn't mention that. We do want to teach them survival skills, traditional African martial arts, both with and without weapons, understanding the world that we live in. Why is Africa the richest continent, but in the poorest condition? Why was Barack Obama made president and it had nothing to do with America reinventing herself? Okay, why has multiculturalism been used as a weapon against African people? So we want to make sure that we are graduating well-rounded young men who can go anywhere in the world and build independent communities. We are a nation-building academy. We are not college prep. We are not military prep. We are not trade school prep. They will be ready for any of those. But above all that, we are nation-building prep. Trade school prep. They will be ready for any of those. But above all that, we are nation-building prep. Trade school prep. They will be ready for any of those.
Whoops. Damn shame, y'all. Damn shame. Damn shame. So, so there you go, man. That's. I mean, there's so much to unpack there. This is a year and a half later, and this fool is still throwing black people right underneath the bus. Right underneath the bus. We didn't. So, I mean, this is stuff that you don't even have to write down because, like, it's the same shit. Like, he said, all right, the St. Louis, he was looking for funding. He's then, and Envy. Envy said, well, what's the process? He said, well, we were looking for funding and, you know, we started off in 2014. Well, that was a lie. You started in 2010. You may have started even before that. So you started way before that. Then you said that the school you were going to buy, which you know he wasn't going to buy that school out in Virginia, they were asking for $2 million. Turns out, if I remember, that school wasn't even for sale now, was it? Well, maybe it was already bought. Something going on with that school, but it wasn't as he described. Now, here you have Charlemagne and Envy, who interviewed this dude a year and a half ago. You still have the footage on YouTube that I took, and you couldn't even reference this video. All right? Then he said 2017, 2019, he was looking for other schools and he only had $500,000. But in 2017, he had that interview with Roland Martin, which he said he had over $750,000. And that's not counting donations, mail-ins, cash apps, PayPals. PayPal, he said it was what, 190 or 200,000 from PayPal? But then there was 750,000 in GoFundMe. So we're looking at over $1 million at least by that time. And he even said himself $1 million. It took you 3.5 years to look for a contractor. Do y'all actually, and you had Envy co-sign like, yeah, you know, these contracts will help. Envy's in real estate, but Envy doesn't give a shit about that. He don't give a fuck about that. He's more concerned about his wife making an ass of him in front of the world, and all the gay, the homoerotic shit that he and Charlemagne do on the Breakfast Club. Clearly, that wasn't good enough content, so they bring in Umar in. And I saw the chat, it was about 8,000, 10,000 or whatever. He doesn't even push back. You are in real estate. That's what everyone knows. You are in real estate. You couldn't ask him some pertinent real estate type questions? They couldn't get a better guess, and they gave him never give him pushback. They never, telling you, all of these black shows, like all these black faces that you see on TV, like it's hard. It's hard to find someone that's genuine. Like none of them are of use. And these are the people they push in front of everybody to follow. So he said 2017, all right? Okay, he got to school. In 2019, he got to school, as we all know.
paid $400K for that bomb shelter. He still had about $300,000 at least for repairs and shit. But you mean to tell me you could not find one single black contractor? Well, actually, you did. There's a few people who offered you work for free. For free. No, they didn't. What's up, Delacreme? What's going on? They didn't push Hillary Clinton. They didn't go after Biden. Like they're useless. They are useless. The guy, the head of the ADL, they didn't push back on him. They don't push back on anybody. And as you see, Charlemagne's going to expand. You know, Charlemagne's going to have him, Umar, on his show as well, on his show that he does outside the Breakfast Club. So basically 3.5 years, you couldn't find one contractor. You believe that shit? 3.5 years to put up a sign. There are sign guys are contractors. So you did find one guy to put up a sign who was black, some Pookie that you found. So that was a lie. Who put in the HVAC? So wait a minute. Let me ask you this. To everybody who got Umar's nuts like squirrely on their jaw. Let me ask you this. Check it out. Umar supposedly could not find one black contractor. He clearly couldn't find a black lawyer, so had to get an Asian one. He said all his white, show pictures, Umar, of these white contractors. Why don't you do that? But my question is this. If this dude couldn't find any black contractors, saying that all of us don't do any good work, which is a lie, what's going to happen when things go south with the teachers if he ever opens this school? Because dude said, oh, we're going to have nothing but black teachers, black this, black that. So what happens if you got to fire a couple of teachers? You're going to get white ones after that at a Pan-Africanist school? Oh, now Delacreme was close to the situation. Acquired the school in 2018. Oh, shit. Are you telling me the place in Delaware, he didn't get it until 2018? Is that what you're saying? So he got it in 2018. Yes. Nothing was being done. And Charlemagne said nothing. So other things were talked about, reparations. Basically, if you get reparations, which I kind of agree, you know, a lot of us, we get reparations that we're going to spend it back into the system. But Umar, you yourself bought into the system. You basically bought a place that white folks are going to gentrify eventually. You got a place for cheap that's never going to become a school. Eventually, some rich white people are going to come in, buy it, and gentrify it. You help them. He talked about Kyrie. He talked about Asian affirmative action, right? Like he's fighting for any of these things. He's not fighting. Umar is not around any lawmakers or nothing. So he's not fighting for this shit. He just likes to talk about it. He goes in on Shannon, calls him a coon, goes in on Stephen A. Smith, roast him. Didn't ask, and I don't know, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Obviously, the Snow Bunny affair, talking about how he was set up by a bunch of coons. But if you look at Umar's body language in that photo, I mean, I'm not saying that he was chasing her, but the body language said if nobody was around, you saying he wouldn't have bent that chick over? So, yes, made her cry. Made her cry. I'm going to tell you, man, Charlemagne, like, this dude, I used to like this dude, too. This dude is worthless. See, here's how they pull you in. They go after open sellouts and coons to draw you in. So he does a takedown on Jason Whitlock to draw you in. It's like, yeah, he takes down Donald Trump and all these other people, and they draw you in. Meanwhile, This dude who probably, you know, who admitted to raping women, he's gives these people a pass. Yeah, listen, they look around. You know what? I'm gonna let people come up because this shit right here. But here's what bothered me the most about this. All right, and you can come up and we can speak. This is what bothered me the most about this whole interview, and why I call this a coon fest. All right, because obviously he talked about Jerry Jones, celebrity loyalty, even though he was caping for Kanye like crazy, and Michael Jackson, nigga. Michael Jackson paid millions of dollars to run away from blackness. Dude looks like a freaking white tranny and shit. Ain't nothing black about Michael Jackson, but you're caping for him. And then he goes after Charlemagne for attacking, for not going after Dion. And as I said yesterday or the other day, you know, I mean, there's a couple of sides to this Dion thing, but they upped his salary 16 times over. Some of y'all, they double your salary. You're gonna be with that company for life. 16 times over, they bumped up his salary. Anyways, the Democratic Party, oh shit, everything he said, you should know. The Democratic Party plantation, you should know this shit. They talked about Andrew Warnock and Herschel Walker, regardless of which side you go to, that they're both, you know, working for a racist party. Yeah, that's who doesn't know this shit. The people who follow this dude are really slow. Who doesn't know the Democratic Party is just as bad as the Republican Party? Then he talks about the Little Rock situation and brings up a date. He brings up dates during the Little Rock situation. And interestingly enough, he talks about Atlanta and said, oh, part of my family from Atlanta. This dude's, he just allows him to say this crazy shit. Man, what's up, Carrie? About speaking about another man not getting you anywhere in life. Who's this money talk? Who are you, bro? 62 of you. Who is money talking? Let me do this. But here's why you sound racist as fuck. It's an invest. Okay. 2 views, negative energy, never. Okay. I don't know who this is. If you want to come up, bro, you can come up because I'm letting people up. But here's what bothered me the most, man. Obviously, you're a Umar dick rider, but this is what bothered me the most about this interview. And I don't know if y'all caught it. They were attacking a couple of people, black people that he didn't agree with. Went after Kanye, went after Stephen A. Smith, went after Shannon Sharp, Charles Barkley, all right? Went after Candace Owens, who obviously fuck her. Went after Deion Sanders. He went after a few black faces in there. Michael Irvin he went after Dak Prescott. And a lot of these guys, they're, you know, mixed, but all right, they're non-white. But each time he went after them, Charlemagne was saying, how many lashes do they get? How many lashes do they get? He said, how many lashes do they get? Deion Sanders is a coon. Oh, how many lashes does he get, doctor? Michael Irvin, how many lashes are you going to give Michael Irvin? Right? How many lashes? Kanye West, how many lashes are you going to give Kanye West, Dr. Umar? What is lashes? 50 lashes, 80 lashes, 100 lashes. This is what Umar was saying if you missed it. Lashes, 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 lashes. Like whippings. And he said that for every black person. It doesn't matter whether I co-sign them or not. I don't fuck with Candace. I told y'all a long time ago Michael Irvin was going to cape for Jerry Jones. Or Deion. He's going to give him lashes. In fact, Oh, let me see if I can just listen to how this shit sounds. Let me go here. Yeah, here it is.
And Michael Irvin.
No defense for Jerry Jones.
And there's no defense for Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin defending him either. Let that white man speak for himself.
And I like what
y'all don't take up for black people like that. Stephen A., you threw Kyrie under the bus. Shannon Sharp, you threw Kyrie under the bus. But soon when a white man messed up, and Shannon didn't defend Jerry Jones, but Stephen did, and Michael did. Soon when a white man make a mistake, every black man in sports media want to be defense attorney for white folks, but have no problem throwing black athletes under the bus.
And I like what Jay Williams said, that,
shout out to Jay Williams.
Jerry Jones would be forced to denounce anti-black racism,
and he hasn't.
And he should discuss what he's learned over the past 6
years. He ain't learned
years.
Nothing. He's a privileged white man. He's just as racist now as he was then. Listen, I've been studying psychology my whole life. I got a doctorate in it. I got 3 master's degrees. But at least it shows you are at least concerned about the relevant, independent,
all that
manufacturing, distribution. It's consistent. Speech is not a.
You just mean school, banking, and
relevant. America, I promise you.
And this is him trashing LeBron James. He's basically trashing LeBron James' school, is what he's doing.
He did what he did a few weeks ago, and I'm going to give LeBron some black
Listen
institution.
What is that?
School.
I agree with
bank.
You got a fucking like trash bucket down in Delaware. LeBron has a school, and some of these fools still think that school is going to open. This is him trashing LeBron James.
Has his name on it, but LeBron. Systems that systematically practice and defend white privilege and white racism against black people.
What about all brothers that play
the college cabinet? What about them? They just there to get it back. They're not protesting. They're not doing nothing.
You're not protesting.
Okay. Show me a rich athlete who built a relevant, independent black institution in this country. Give me one. And let me tell you what they are.
Hold on. LeBron has. Jalen Rose has. All right. Deion tried to. That ran out of money. Puffy does. You have to keep it going.
School. Don't give me no charter school. Charter schools are public schools. Don't give me no charter school.
Do you understand that he's using that independent shit because he knows you're gonna give him more money? That's why he's saying it's independent. He knows that the school can't run off donations from baby mamas from the hood, but he's just gonna keep getting money. This is what it's doing.
That is a public school. It has his name on it.
But LeBron.
None, Della.
I asked you about speaking. Let me go back to my question. My question was, name me a black celebrity or entertainer who has built a relevant, independent black institution.
What is that?
School.
I agree with
bank.
But is that the
supermarket?
That's the one,
hospital.
That's all that
manufacturing, distribution. It's the heart of a community.
Hold on. Have you tried to align with them, Umar? See, here's the trick bag again. You know why he's attacking these stars the way he is? Well, see, y'all don't get the game. He's doing that so he'll have an out. Okay, when you attack dudes, when you attacking Shaq, even though you can disagree with Shaq, right? Shaq does have people on the ground. You can disagree with him, but he does have a few people on the ground. He works in the hood. All right. So you could hook up with him, or he can give you an extra like 50,000, which is like pocket change to him. It's like $3 to us. He's got so much money to donate to the school, but he doesn't want to do that because that money is going to make him accountable. The money's going to make him accountable. So it's ridiculous, man. So this is why he does that, so that they'll reject him.
Take care of the major problems we got. Just because LeBron James got in front of a microphone and undid what he did a few weeks ago, and I want to give LeBron some props. I appreciated his comments.
So wait, he's undo what? He's not supposed to speak about the fuck shit that Kyrie should not be killed the way he is. But Kyrie doesn't even know what the fuck he wants. If he stood 10 toes down on a belief, yeah, people would back him. I've spoken about this already, but why would he attack them, but he's not attacking any of these other white reporters who are attacking Kyrie?
Jones, and comparing that to the way in which they tried to castrate Kyrie. Shout out to LeBron.
But now LeBron don't pull a Shannon Sharp and a Stephen A. And right after you do something positive or say something good, you take it back by going right back to the Django character. You understand? You got to be consistent. Speech is not enough when you're worth billions. To whom much is given, Envy, much is expected. If you a billionaire talking, so how can y'all co-sign Kanye so much? He don't.
Bingo. Bingo.
He spoke a significant truth to a significant.
The reason he's riding for Kanye is because Kanye is on this. Well, like I said yesterday, all Kanye did, he chose one racist white group over another, and Kanye's into that long given conspiracy about it's the Jews that run everything. The Jew, yeah, there's a lot of them in high position that are racist as fuck, but he just left a company that's run by a Frenchman that is not Jewish. So he's basically doing what worked for Donald Trump. Donald Trump went the white nationalism route. All right. And he's an icon now in the white nationalist community. He's set. Do you know Donald Trump is an ex-president? He's going to have a presidential library, which his family is going to make money for as long as this country's around. He is a former president, so he's set for life. So Kanye felt that he can go the white nationalist route as well, and he can get a bag as well, and he's finding out it's not the same with black folks. That's what he did.
But he don't put back into black people. I agree. I just said that. Have infrastructures full of black people making. I'm gonna ask you again. What institution that's relevant has been built by a black athlete or celebrity this century? I mean, you just mean school banking and relevant. Okay. LeBron James started a movement against voter disenfranchisement. Walk through the streets of Brooklyn, walk through the streets of Harlem, walk through the streets of the Bronx,
what's up, Gator,
walk through the streets of Queens, walk through the streets of Staten Island, and ask black people, what are the top 5 problems black people have in America? I promise you, voter suppression ain't one. Voter suppression ain't one.
It's big in the South, though.
If we want to
it's in the South.
We got to get serious, and black athletes have been cooning for far too long. I think you're being They're more concerned about money.
I know as you are.
But Deion Sanders, you talking about Deion Sanders.
Deion.
What's your thoughts on Deion
Everybody
Sanders?
Been texting me about this all week.
Hold on.
Before you get into it, you know, Charlemagne gave Donkey today to people that were criticizing.
I know, that's right. And I'm coming right at it. Let's go. I'm coming right at it. Let's go.
Now, this is a good exchange. Now, good for Charlemagne for bucking back on him, and he's going to have Umar on the ropes a little bit. For those who didn't see the show, he's going to have Umar on the ropes.
I'm coming right at more lashes.
Wait, hold on. You see this?
No, that's right. And I'm coming right at it. Let's go. I'm coming right at it. Let's go. More lashes. I'm coming right at more lashes.
You see that? Lashes.
When
lashes.
Deion Sanders stood against Colin Kaepernick
like whips
in 16. I branded him a Negro peon. He did? Yes, he did. He said he did. I saw him say it out his mouth on an interview.
What did he say?
He should not have taken that knee. It was wrong. Deion Sanders.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait a minute. I mean, we can't trust everything that falls out of Umar's mouth. All right. We can't do that. Yeah. Let's see. What did he say? I mean, I never really paid it. I don't think Umar said anything like that. I'm sure that, yeah. I don't believe that he said this, but I guess we'll have to redo that another time. But I don't believe that Deion. Deion has said some off the wall things. Remember, he is a super Christian. All right, this is what Deion is, so it wouldn't surprise me. But let's continue.
Because he didn't stand with Colin Kaepernick. When I heard Deion Sanders was taking the job, I said, okay, I'm gonna give him his black pass back. Because here you are, one of the top 5 greatest athletes, arguably the greatest football player ever.
Yes.
Including Tom Brady. Deion could go down as great as him.
I mean, I gotta, we gotta know he's not. I mean, he's He's one of the greatest DBs ever. He's not even in the top 10. Just stop already. I mean, but this is what he does. It's like when Kobe died, he's the greatest basketball player. Just again, this is why y'all believe this guy? Well, not y'all, but some people just eat up what this dude says.
You go to Jackson State, HBCU. That's impressive. Now I hear all of a sudden you might be leaving.
He left, stupid.
He's leaving.
He left.
Stay with me. He's wrong. But I have 2 levels of wrong. I got a low level and I got a high. I'll explain them to you quickly. My low level. If Deion told the administration and the students and the players at Jackson State that I'm taking this job, but I need y'all to know, if something better comes along, as soon as it comes along, I may be leaving.
He did say that.
He said that. If he was that transparent, I didn't see that.
I played the clip the other day. He said it on 60 Minutes. He said that.
No, he said he may be leaving. He did not say he was leaving after 3 years.
No, he said that if a Power 5 school comes along, I have to entertain it. I would be a fool not to. And Deion has always been same. No, Deion has always been transparent and open about what his goals were.
That is not. No, I disagree with you. He told
he really?
This is the way he would have to entertain it. He never said I would leave you that soon. He never said I could be gone in 3 years.
What does it matter though?
I'm gonna tell you why
top
it matters.
20.
I'm gonna tell you right now why it matters. Because he damn wrong. Now, if he told them, if I'm gonna go back and study some more, but from what I seen him say, he was not that direct. But if he was, and that's not what I saw, so we disagree there. But if he was, he's still wrong, but it's a low level because at least you was transparent and you gave him informed consent. They knew you could leave at any time.
That's right.
Okay? Still wrong. I'm going to explain in a minute. Now, if he didn't tell them that, okay, and I'm hearing from people who know athletes on that team that they were not told it that way.
They weren't.
You don't know anybody. Bullshit. You don't know anybody.
He didn't say it that way, Charlamagne. I saw that.
He did.
Yeah, he's just catching them in lie after lie.
Do it that way. That automatically means that Deion Sanders used, abused, and exploited HBCU Jackson State just to be given an opportunity to show predominantly white institutions that he could coach. If he only used them as a stepping stone to getting a job at a white college, he was dead wrong. Now, let me tell y'all why this is bigger than football.
But that's what he did. Everybody knew. People, Umar was gullible enough, and a lot of us were that to eat up the whole Wakanda image that Deion pushed out there. He's going to stay there, build up black colleges and stuff. And he did a lot. But let's continue, though.
The case is the Supreme Court reviewing right now.
Yes.
Against black, what is it, for black students in colleges?
Absolutely. The U.S. Supreme Court right now is reviewing whether or not racially conscious admissions in higher education are unconstitutional. And guess who is bringing the suit? Asians. But guess who's funding the suit? White people with connections to the 6 conservative justices on the United States Supreme Court bench. So, what they're saying is Asians are discriminated against on the basis of the personality aspect of the admissions process at Harvard and the University of North Carolina, among other universities, by subjecting Asians to that personality assessment, which includes personality, background, social economic status, culture, this, that, who you are, what you want to be. Asians are being penalized for the high test scores and grades. So what the Asians want and what the white folks who are funding the Asians want is they want the Supreme Court to say you cannot include race at all as a factor in higher education admissions. If they throw that out, if they say Harvard cannot use the personality assessment portion of the admissions process, the percentage of Asians that get accepted into PWIs goes up by 20%, and the percentage of black students will plummet by at least 50%. You know what that means? You are watching the gentrification of black children off of the PWI campus. Hold
on a second. Let me just answer this question real quick. The school got, to be fair, okay, it got 7 minutes in an hour interview. To be fair, like 2 whole minutes, he's threw black people under the bus. But yeah, it got 7 minutes, to be fair.
Is relevant to Deion Sanders. The reason I'm so personally disappointed in Deion is I thought he was there for a movement, not for money. Meaning,
Deion Sanders, the coach of Jackson State, I foresaw a situation where Deion would hire other coaches, other retired black NFL greats to coach other HBCUs. In doing so, you attract our top tier high school athletes to come to HBCUs.
Maybe.
Stay with me.
Eddie George,
Stay with me. Football and back. You know, like I know, if you got top tier NFL greats coaching HBCUs, the athletes are coming. Just like they was coming for Deion. He showed you, Charlamagne.
Deion, though.
He showed
That's
you.
Deion. I said this before.
Famous people
And
ever.
his
Yeah.
This is great. So listen.
Eddie George at Tennessee State.
That's one person. We talk about a system, not an individual. So Deion and these other coaches bring all these athletes from high school to play football, basketball, so forth. The revenue of the HBCU goes up, Envy. As a result of the revenue going up, Charlamagne, the schools got more money. They don't have to subject themselves to closure. They don't have to subject themselves to being dependent.
Guys, let me just stop this because I went over this again. Folks, Deion had to give half his salary to fix up the school. He had to go to Walmart to build a new field. All right, because he's Deion, he has those type of connections. All right, Eddie George is coaching right now, but Eddie George is not as great as he's not as big a name as Deion. You know Eddie George. If you know football, you know Eddie George. All right, and he wasn't even one of the all-time great running backs. He's just a good, serviceable running back. He had won a Heisman, went to a Super Bowl, had a pretty decent career. But Eddie George is not Deion Sanders. And how many stars, what stars are going to come there? Deion was a unique, iconic star. That's one guy. But this is Umar again, giving you all these, selling you the sky and the moon for a situation. And from what I understood, because I don't listen to Umar that much, I guess he was shouting out Prime just a second ago, and now he's doing this. So let's continue with this.
White money. You got HBCUs at risk of being closed. I read something that said almost a half of them. A half may not survive the decade. So this was bigger than football.
Where are your sources, Umar? I know that HBCUs don't get that much funding. We know this, but half? This is where he's just over dramatizing shit.
This was about the survival of the HBCU, especially.
Yes, it is.
Stop trying to give celebrities a pass, Charlamagne.
Hold on. Talk about trying to give celebrities a pass. Let's just go back. And by the way, like I said before, to be fair, because there's a lot of different sides with the Deion situation. He did kind of sell you the sun on the moon. Shout out to Information Man for this short.
Why HBCU? I was called by God to come here and provoke change. I love it. I enjoy it. It's a tremendous challenge. It's a tremendous undertaking, but I am the man for the job. I love the environment, the atmosphere, and I have 4 kids here now, including the one that's on the other side of the camera.
So Deion was on this whole, I was called by God and this is some sort of divine intervention that I should be here, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, he did kind of sell you a lot of bullshit like he was going to, but as I said, we're 400 years behind white folks. And we think that we're going to have this that we're going to do something great and have this microwave effect that's going to get us caught up with white people, and that's not the case. This is what Umar's trying to sell. That if Deion is there, then somehow you get a bunch of other black athletes, all of which were paid by white supremacy. All of them paid by rich whites. So in other words, you get paid by them, and somehow you're going to catch up to them by getting a bunch of them to coach in schools that they're probably holding up with their money anyways. It just doesn't make sense. But Umar is saying that, oh, you're sticking up for celebrities, but where is it at? No. Yeah. This is this dude. Yeah. Listen to this shit. Talk about sticking up for celebrities.
In which Kanye articulated some of his thoughts. I appreciate the fact that he was the first black man since Michael Jackson to speak truth to power, to specifically identify certain communities of Europeans who have exploited gangster rap, black entertainers, and other people since its inception, and nobody has called them out. He's the first to do it since Michael Jackson. Again, Michael did it. He wasn't in his prime. Kanye did it in his prime.
Kanye's way past
Kanye
his
no
prime.
respect because I've never seen a black man seek more white validation than Kanye was.
Well, that's the issue.
That is one of the most self-hating black men on the
Kanye is
planet.
not choosing a side. One day, it's about saving our people. The next day, you want to date with another snow bunny. One day, it's about helping the oppressed. The next day, you're campaigning for Donald Trump. One day, it's about being independent. The next day, I'm hearing about you going into business with some white man. Make up your mind. I think Kanye is trying to figure out where he is, but he got to make up his mind because you're too helter-skelter in which
Yeah, bullshit. But let's get
I'm
into
not blaming him. I'm blaming black men for not being men.
But you know,
I'm blaming us for not being men. That was an unmanly move.
Can you admit one thing?
Whoa. Again, look at all the listen, just be fair about Deion here. Deion did he ran game, but he did do a lot for black colleges. Listen to that 60 Minutes clip. Listen to what I played yesterday. He did do something. It's just that people have this idea that because he's Deion, he was gonna save black people. Nah, he went there to do what he did. Now someone paid him a gang of cash. What are you gonna do?
HBCU is chronically underfunded.
Of course.
Were they chronically underfunded before Deion?
Yes.
Would they be chronically underfunded after Deion?
Yes. Absolutely.
What are those reasons that they're chronically underfunded?
Because we as black men have not come together to create the funding source to make sure they survive. I don't want to hear about the government.
Wait a minute. Maybe if you use some of the millions of dollars you took for that bomb shelter down in Delaware and transferred that to a black school, maybe they'd have a little bit more. Charlemagne's gonna.
Y'all interview him every day.
I'm with you. So you got low alumni donors.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Low endowments.
Right.
That's an us problem.
He's part of us. Why you keep exhibiting celebrities? They're not better than us.
He's one person.
Okay.
Charlemagne is right. I said this. Where were the boosters? Where are the alumni? Where were all the people helping Deion Sanders?
But the point is that one man could have been a catalyst for a movement that would have revolutionized the survival of HBCUs.
But why does the movement stop just because he left? HBCUs will
You're
still be
missing
there.
the point.
What's the point?
The abolition wasn't just about Frederick Douglass.
Oh,
but if Frederick Douglass would have pulled out, it would have hurt it. The Underground Railroad wasn't just about Harriet, but if she would have pulled out, it would have failed.
So what was the
civil rights movement wasn't just about King.
Before Deion 3 years ago, what was
they were struggling, and he could have helped save it. And for him to pull out of Jackson State the way that he did, for making sure the HBCU system survived. To me, was selfish.
Oh my God!
He chose money over the movement, Charlemagne, and celebrities do it all the time. And y'all want to give him a pass? Nobody get no pass. I don't care who Deion Sanders is. This
man just gave Kanye and Miss Michael Jackson a full pass. This dude just gave Kanye a pass.
Had a chance to help and he hurt, and y'all want to condone that because you black celebrities are not committed to the best interests of black people.
Let me ask you a question. When Deion was coaching high school kids for several years,
exactly.
When he was
talking about
exactly. Thank you.
When he was coaching high school kids for several years, black kids, when he was opening up Prime Prep Academy, that got closed down because they had financial issues.
Exactly.
He went to Jackson State for $1.2 million for 4 years and said, you know what? Y'all take
the state for 4 years.
But listen, y'all take half this salary and go build a better go build a better facility.
Exactly.
And he got to pay back $300,000.
And after all
exactly. But hold on, wait. I forgot to even mention that. After all Deion did, right? Dude got to pay back $300,000 to funky ass Jackson State. You mean after all he did, he gave up half his salary. He's out there on one leg on his lawnmower. Dude nearly died doing what he did. Literally nearly died. All right. literally nearly died. And because he left, he's got to give Jackson State $300,000. Come on, man. This dude, yeah, you're right, Dominique. This dude could not even stand. He stand too long, he died. Man, and thank you for the super chat, by the way. And the last call, thank you for the super chat, Jay the Informant. I did see that. What? And this clown who's collecting money for damn near 2 decades with nothing to show for it.
State for a super white college that got a 1.6 black student.
But you ain't let me finish my point.
Rate. No,
How can you say
1.6 black students, which means the only blacks on that campus are the athletes, and you're going to tell me that that's a step up? You sold us out for money, bro.
How can you say it's about money when when his track
Is he
record
trolling?
shows
He stayed
he don't
for
pour
3
in the
years.
kids
That
for
was
money?
no commitment. His track record shows that if white people give me the money, I'll turn my back on the HBCU system.
Wow.
What are you talking about? That's what he did.
I disagree.
That's what he just did.
I disagree.
Come on, man. If he would have stayed there, if Deion would have stayed there, like I said, he could have brought other black coaches in.
And it
former
wouldn't, you
NFL
would not have
greats
caught
that would
up to
raise the
these white
revenue of the
schools.
HBCU, which is so critical now. Why? Because the Asians are being financed by white folks to kick what little blacks are left on the PWI campus off. So that means the critical importance of the HBCU is greater now than it's ever been. So for Deion to pull this right now makes it even worse because you're leaving the HBCU system when you had a chance.
How many lashes for Deion?
Stop trying to exempt
You hear that?
black celebrities
Listen.
from accountability to the race.
No.
Celebrities are not above accountability. Stop.
Listen to
Stop.
this.
How many lashes for Deion?
50,000 lashes for Deion.
50,000. This is what I'm saying. This is why I say this was a coon fest. 50,000 lashes. Again, listen to this whole interview. He talks about Jerry Jones. He talks about Brett Favre. No lashes for them. This shit was a fucking coon fest. To even joke like that with this shit.
No. Shut up. More important question. How much you?
No.
How much you gonna donate to an HBCU today?
Bingo.
I'm building 2 independent schools, the first in its history.
No doubt, but those are HBCU.
Hold on.
Lashes for Deion.
Shut up. More important question. How much you? No. How much you gonna donate to an HBCU today?
You gotta listen. You gotta watch the video and see Charlemagne's expression when he says Charlemagne knows that Umar's running a fucking scam. All right. He was frustrated when he asked that question. You got to look at that video when he asked this question. How much money are you going to give? Because he knows that this school is bullshit. He knows this.
I'm building 2 independent schools, the first in its history.
No doubt, but those are HBCU.
Whoa.
If you're gonna be that passionate about HBCU, how much you gonna donate to an HBCU?
Let me answer your question. May I?
Yes.
First of all, I'm not a multi-millionaire. Second of all,
Oh, come on, bro. Stop it. First, you can make a case that Umar is a millionaire. You can make a case. Now, does he walk around like one? Nah, he doesn't, because the money, people will ask you, oh, well, Umar, he's not doing it for the money. He's not balling or nothing. They don't understand. There are people who even if they get a lot of money, all right, they got different motivations. All right, go to Umar's Instagram. You look at his Instagram. His Instagram, you can see what he's motivated by. Dude, I think he's motivated by food, obviously. He may be, I don't know if he's doing another substance, but if he is, it wouldn't shock me. He does have the sniffles a lot. All right, that wouldn't shock me. And women, he tricks off women. That is known. So this idea that he ain't a multi-millionaire, I seen him raise $10,000 in like 10 minutes. So this man got money.
Finish my question. Can I finish my question? I donate to HBCUs on a regular basis.
Okay.
I do.
Where? See how he just throws shit out there with no reference, no nothing.
My point is, I'm focused on destroying the school-to-prison pipeline.
Exactly.
I'm building 2 independent schools
And
from
I
the ground.
applaud you for that.
Black money. Nobody you've interviewed in this studio ever is doing that. Not one of them. You
There he
understand me?
goes.
So I'm doing my part, and that's why I can expect Deion Sanders to do his part. And that's why lashes also go to Shannon Sharp. Because Shannon Sharp on national television said he didn't even want to go to a HBCU. He wanted to go to a PWI. And every time celebrities try to do something good, black people want to beat them up. I beg your pardon, Shannon Sharp. I know that you don't date black women. You have no loyalty to black women. Now you want to tell the world you have no loyalty to the HBCU. If you didn't want to go to Savannah State, you keep that to yourself, you Negropean. You don't tell the whole world that you didn't want to go to an HBCU and then try to chide the black community for asking Deion Sanders to have a little commitment.
With all that said, Dr. Umar, what do we do for HBCUs moving forward? Because Deion gone, but HBCUs going to still be here.
I just told you, black celebrities have to come together, stop buying chains, stop going to clubs and strip joints, stop with all the expensive clothing, stop cooning, and use some of this disposable income that we spend it on Christmas gifts right now and come up with a funding source. So many celebrities went to HBCUs. Why can't they be the catalyst of a black celebrity and grassroots, because we should be paying too, movement to finance this? I'm simply saying Deion could have been the face of that and was beginning to be, and he allowed himself to get bought out by a white.
But he left the blueprint.
That's it. I don't want to hear about.
Now that is bullshit. Again, he didn't leave any blueprint. Unless you're someone of Deion's stature, you're not doing what he did. All right, some Joe Blow coach is not going to be able to have the influence to have the draw like Deion.
He left the blueprint. That's like Harriet Tubman saying, "I'm not going to help you on the Underground Railroad. I'm going to lead the blueprint." Marcus Garvey, "I'm not going to help you with the independence movement. I'm going to lead the blueprint." That's cowardliness, man.
I'm not putting that out on Deion, because there's enough of us that can keep these programs sustained if we do what we're supposed to do.
Okay, but we can't do that with people running away like Deion Sanders. That was a cowardly move. He was wrong.
How many lives you say Deion again?
50,000.
Unbelievable.
Shannon keep cooning. Shannon gonna get about 100.
Unbelievable.
Stephen ain't getting about 50,000.
Unreal.
Candace Owens needs about 250,000 lashes. She out there doing documentaries on Black Lives Matter, which is appropriate because they were wrong for misappropriating that money.
Despise
where's
Candace Owens
documentary on the Brett Favre situation or the Jerry Jones situation? My disagreement.
Where are the lashes for Brett Favre and Jerry Jones? Where are the lashes for them?
My sister, she's letting white folks finance her to embarrass her people publicly. No black person should do that.
And also, I just want to tell you, Dr. Umar is going to be on my late night talk show this week.
All for the hits. All for the hits.
I want your listeners, please support the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
That's right.
Get on your Cash App, $FDMG School, $FDMG School. Get on your PayPal. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy, PayPal.me/FDMG Academy, and make sure you subscribe to my video on demand site, www.drumar.tv, www.drumar.tv. Parents, stop getting your children tested for special ed.
Right.
I'm going to say this and I'm done. In the post-COVID era, we're seeing a surge of black children be put in special ed. The schools are...
Let's hear what Shannon Sharp said about Deion. Hold on a second. Want to make sure that I have this right.
Why can't an HBCU be the prize?
All right. Now I want the voice of Shannon.
He did that.
And still, we get opportunity. We say, "Oh, we want guys to get opportunities. We want our black coaches to get opportunities." He gets an opportunity. He takes the opportunity, and now you mad. He brought
who's mad?
A lot of blacks that blow up because upset, man, he lied. You see you see how they hold us more accountable? They don't never say
wait, who's they?
I'm talking about my community.
Okay.
White people, I'm talking about us. They know what I'm talking about. People, blacks are mad a lot, but look at what he did. He brought eyes to HBCUs, Skip. There wasn't nobody talking about HBCUs, especially now. They're talking about, they're on television. That's because of him. He gave you a blueprint. Now follow the blueprint. There's someone on his staff, probably, and he's recommended somebody on his staff, but now he goes a place that has resources.
Yep.
So guess what he can do? He can hire more coaches, more minority coaches, bring them, give them opportunity.
He did that.
Again, and he was absolutely, I was looking for the one where Shannon Sharp said that he wasn't going to go to a black college if he had the choice. But that's what Umar's talking about. Where else here? I mean, see, we talked about Kanye, of course. Umar said also in this interview that, what's her name? Kim Kardashian used Kanye. So this guy's saying that we hate black celebrities, but he's saying that Kim Kardashian used Kanye. So hold on a second. I want to get that cut. With Kim Kardashian, then I'm gonna bring some people up. I haven't had people up in a minute, but yeah, this guy, just the end of that with the lashes and stuff, that's what makes this a whole disaster. This was a disgrace. But listen, you know who there's gonna be a couple of beta males who are gonna eat this up, obviously. Um, let's see, goes it, yeah. Here's him going in on TJ Holmes and Emi Udoko cheating. Oh boy.
Ime Udoka and TJ Holmes.
Yeah.
First of all, what they did was wrong. It's even more wrong because you chose to go outside your community and do it. They were not chastised because they committed adultery.
Right.
Celebrities do it all the time. They were not chastised for that. They were chastised because they failed to keep in mind that black men get the white women that other white men genuinely do not want. Right. You don't get the top of the line white women. You don't. You get leftovers. New black money will jump on any poor white girl and make her a billionaire, Tiger Woods. The sin of Ime Udoka and the sin of TJ Holmes is you had an affair with a white man's wife. This is a desirable white woman.
I don't think I know.
To her, and you had the audacity to take away from her husband being a Negro. That's why they had to be sat down. Ime Udoka and TJ Holmes.
Yeah, let me just go through the chat here. Yeah, he was on the Proud Boys podcast. So yeah, come on, bro. Umar, take care of your daughters. You know, the ones that we know about, but whatever. Let's see. I've worked in higher education, aka fundraising. The big publics and the privates have 7 to 10 billion in endowments. Athletic departments have boosters. And from what I hear, more stuff came out about the what Dion was, dealing with at these colleges. I mean, at Jackson State, again, that thing was a mess, and he did. I don't like how he kind of put the carrot in front of people, like he was gonna, but just shows you again, don't depend on these celebrities. Dude, stop depending on celebrities already. Stop it. See, it's just business. And yeah, 16 times. Big, yep. Yeah. Like I said, this dude nearly died. Now they gave him like 16 times what he's making. Come on now. Yeah, he donates all the time. Come on, bro. Turns out more black doctors and lawyers and PDIs. But if folks are only there to coming back for the homecoming and not to donate, that's exactly. Can compete with that. No way. No way. And yeah, get the likes up, please, guys. Come on now. Get them likes up. But shout out, like I said, shout out to everybody who's coming to the building. Yeah, this really just the first 7 minutes of this interview, and I was just ready to shut it down. But I said, you know what? Let me listen to the rest. This is just at this stage in the game. Like I said, I'm gonna condense a lot of the Umar stuff I have. I'm leave the weed and seed, but like, what's the point at this time? At this point, there's still people on here. Still, you're not gonna convince them, bro. And Umar, from what I understand, I guess he's gonna be in the Bronx. I'll see if I can go visit him because I'm off for the last week of the year, so I may go visit him. But bro, I'm just like, come on, man. It's like you can't. There's only so much content you can put out there about this dude. All right, he's running a school scam. Charlemagne isn't going to ask him the tough questions. You notice when Charlemagne pressed him at the end, he came on. He started acting like he acted on that Lord Jamar interview. He acted the same way. When you press him for a question, so you know, man, he's never even at that school. When last he been in the school? Yeah, he has no board of directors, no committee, no group of advisors, no nothing, and he hires white people to do his work. You tell me. Yeah, for his family. I mean, he can't say the black racers or HBCUs. He went to the HBCUs. He got them on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Walter Payton went to that school. He couldn't do that. So come on already, bruh. Man, just keep going down. And by the way, shout out Last Call. I appreciate it. And Jay the Informant, I appreciate it. If the school has 50,000 alumni and they all donated 50, yeah, that's 2.5 million a year. Exactly. He really shouldn't have an opinion on this. You know he's going to get flamed because just for the school he's running. See, folks spend that. See, so homecoming every year. See, yeah. You say we're not talking about the past. You're bringing up Harriet Tubman. Yeah, man. Hard act. The poorest communities. Dion had multiple surgeries. Yeah, dude can't stand. That dude almost died. I'm telling you, bro. To this day, he's back on child support. To this day. And I didn't even go after him like that, but to this day. Come on, bro. PDI, yep. Yeah. Maybe Charlemagne's just doing this to make him look dumb. Yeah, so let me let's go down to I think that he also talked about Brittany Griner. Yeah, the Brittany Griner situation. I mean, guys, that was a bad exchange. All right. I mean, they sent over an arms dealer for a basketball player, and basically, yeah, he's right on that. I mean, obviously, but he's gonna be right on these things that people should already know. All right. This was for political reasons for Biden. I mean, you hit the alphabet community, you hit women, you hit black women who vote for Democrats. I mean, he hit every button. So yeah, he was right about that. This is basically political posturing, but you traded an arms dealer over there for Brittany Griner. She should have been a toss-in. She really should have. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, man, let me go ahead and listen, you know. Haven't done it in a while, but yeah, you guys can, I'll give you time to come up. But yeah, this dude is this right here is just I don't know. I mean, listen, there are going to be people that are going to review this and say that they agree with him and that he's the truth and he's this and he's that and blah blah blah, whatever, bro. I mean, again, let me see. What am I looking for here? Yeah, go here. All right. Yeah, man. So I just think, man, that I can't anymore. I can't continue. What's up, JD Davis? Cutting the toes was after cutting the grass, and y'all talking without facts. It was after cutting the grass. Yeah, listen, anybody who still believes in Umar, you're welcome. You're welcome to come up. All right. And you tell me that this interview, especially what I played early on, with him throwing the black people who gave him hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's throwing them under the bus on a worldwide platform like that. How many people watch this shit? Dude, this guy, hold on a second. It didn't hit 1 million views yet, but it will. This shit got almost 500,000 views at this point. Almost 500,000 views. And this was just done this morning. All right. So eventually his shows get like 1 million, 2 million, close to 5 million views. So yeah. Eventually, man, he's gonna get big views with this. But I'm just saying, bro. So if you want to come up, and let me just go down here. Yeah, Charlemagne already admitted that Umar is more of an entertainer than educator. I can't remember. He said this on one of his old shows. Asians have their own money. Yep. But if Dion lost and got fired, he'd be singing a different tune. Yes, sir. Umar's just being a contrarian. Host at Dion. Yeah, actually, that's true. That's true. I don't think Dion will. Shannon, I don't think he will. I think Shannon went after him once and just, I think he found out the information about Umar. It's like, why bother? You know that LeBron won't do it. LeBron's like too busy at this point. Lakers are starting to do good, by the way. I mean, they got right now the front runner for sixth man of the year is Russell Westbrook, which is nice. I'm happy for him. That would be nice if he won sixth man of the year. Freaking yeah, but I don't think anyone's gonna answer this dude. All right. They just bring him up there for clicks and views. So by the night's end, he'll probably be at like 600,000 or whatever. He said it's better than it's ever been. So this is Dion's problem. All this is Dion's problem. No, it's not. Yeah. Lashes. Again, this is what, how do you say this? How are you saying that and say all these black people get lashes? And you never said it about Jerry Jones or Brett Favre or any white people you claim to criticize. Lashes? Lashes. Lashes. Man, Umar talking about accountability. None for Cunha. Yeah. This is a proud black man that is a swirler. All right. That's another thing with him. Yeah, man, he's full of it, man. 50,000 lashes. So that isn't the white man's, but yes. But that's what I'm saying, Dr. Kelly. That's what I'm saying. Lashes. Lashes. You had Speakeasy's goofy ass talking about, oh, well, Lennon was saying this about black folks. Well, bro, how do you co-sign? You listen to the guy you were fighting for. Lashes? This ain't the first time this dude has said anything reckless about black people. Listen, man. All of this is gonna live on, bro. He ain't donating shit. You're absolutely right. That man is donating nothing. Yes. I've never heard David Duke say that shit. This was a full coon fest, bro. He should have pushed back harder than on actual art. Yeah, I know. Yeah, man. Buildings are already built. Tristan Townsend said, yeah. He was putting his own money in the money. Yep. He hasn't been back to that school in ages. When last has he been? He hasn't been at that school in a long time. A long time, bro. A long time. I don't know what the hell he's wearing, bro. This is that jacket. I don't know what that is. I have no idea, bro. I'm furious at black men. Yep. 50,000 land. I'm still, bro. That's just bad. That is bad. Yeah. Him, all of these dudes, him, fucking Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed, he actually took, you talk about informant, right? You talking about a dude who, Tariq Nasheed got Tahaka Bay's page taken down, Moorish World TV. I was just on that dude's channel not too long ago. I mean, I'm not into the Moorish shit, but he was speaking some truths about Tariq. And you mean to tell me this dude went to take this man's page down? Man. Well, Umar ain't gonna give no money. Yep. I mean, Shannon, you know that Shannon will basically turn him into a puddle. We get that. People from traveling the world, yep, living in the hotels, food, not to mention the free clothes. So he gets funded, so he has money. This man ain't poor. I don't think he's poor. He has just different things that motivate him. Yep. Gator girl, I said that I was on the Alec Logic's channel and I said, I brought it up. And Alan, I broke, but he has two, you can call them Octoroon or what have you, but they're non-black. Look at his kids. He had his kids on his lap the other day. And they're with Kyrie's woman ain't white. She's, mixed or whatever. She ain't black. And Kanye got a full white woman, and all he does is chase white women. Michael Jackson, who's not even into women, he chases white boys and bought white kids. So it's crazy, bro. Unbelievable. But he wants to go after Dion. Yep. Again, he's doing that. He's doing that for he's doing that because that, like, if he does it, it gives him an out to say that, oh, these guys are messing with me because they don't like me or they're coons or whatever. He has a big enough voice. He can easily hook up with a celebrity, but he's not trying to. None of these guys are trying to do that. Not him, not Tariq. None of these guys are trying to hook up with celebrities like that. So if a celebrity decides to give them any real money, they'll be held accountable. That's why they go after the smaller people. That's why they do what they're going to do. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Never mentioned Umar only preaches white spread. Go back to Africa. You don't date white women. That was the white man's message. The fact that they keep bringing this dude on, they're bringing him on for views. They're bringing him on because they can't make their own content. That's why. They're bringing him on because it's a dying show. That's why they're bringing on Umar Johnson. The show is dying. Angela Yee's leaving. Charlamagne's, they're bringing him on because this show is dying. That's why. That's it. Yeah, Kyrie, I've never said Kyrie was a bad guy. He's just the conscious community fucked this dude's head up. Kyrie is not, I mean, especially compared to Cunha. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He's really a good soul, but he's just, he just latches on to a lot of pseudo shit. Royalties. Yeah, that's why I stopped coming out too. Yeah. I'll put up entertainers and athletes. Absolutely. That's why I said I don't expect mess. I don't expect much from celebrities, bro. I don't expect it. Yeah. It's a pathway. You could say that. You could say that. Kanye's best friends with Candace. Yep. Yeah, it's again. No, Umar, I think the money goes in and out of his hands. All right. But to say he knows how to raise money. And I've said a million times, he needs to just transform that shack into a church. And he'll be rolling in dough. He'll have more pussy thrown at him than he can even shake a stick at. All right. I mean, this is what he should do, but I don't think he even wants to do that. But it's just, he can do that overnight and just change his perception. He'll still be a swindling crook, but it'll change up his perception a little bit. Yeah, man. A Scottish vagabond. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, it's bad. He also said in the video that he's not racist, that he consults whites as well, which is bullshit. But I mean, I don't think, I just think that he's a charlatan. That's all. I just think he's a charlatan. Others funded Manny Marable to write the invention of the autobiography. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, that art. You talking about the thing that tried to say that Malcolm was gay? I mean, which was a mess. And guy, I mean, that was stupid anyway, because if he was gay, people would that would have come out back in the 60s. All right. But that would have come out back when he broke for the nation. So you knew right off that was bullshit. But what's up, Humble King? How you doing? Yeah, basically more bullshit. And yeah. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, this may be my last major one in Umar, and like I said, I'm gonna go and condense a lot of my other shit and just put together an Umar Chronicles because, like, there's too much content out there. And it goes way, there's too much content to show you that this dude, Eli, from What's Happening to Common Sense, all his shit is still up there. Make a Change, his whole platform, he got all the Umar shit, breaks everything down. Breaks everything down about what this guy's doing. So I'm saying, so if you can't tell now, then I don't know what to tell you. All right, go, like, if you never met Umar before, right? Someone you know never met Umar, I would just give him the semi tape. That's still out there. Watch this. Just sit down, get some popcorn. It's about an hour long. Watch this. Go to his Instagram. His Instagram is not about, listen, and I said this in my very initial video on Umar. I said, you know, I don't care about who he's fucking, the stripper and everything. And I saw the stripper. I saw how he got sprung and shit. But, like, come on, bro. This dude is not about and not about opening any school. He's about eating. Maybe maybe some nose candy. It wouldn't shock me if it did. And he's about bending chicks over. That's it, bro. All he's interested in is that. He's not interested in opening any school. Just go to his Instagram. It's ridiculous, man. But people still believe the bullshit. I don't know what to tell you. Yep. What's up, Make a Change? How you doing? What's going on, man? Yeah, we had to go through this, man. But I'm like I said, man, I'm gonna move on to just some different stuff, and I'm just gonna put together condensed an Umar Chronicles, and like what's left. You can at this point, and with big platforms like this, other bullshit platforms like Fox Soul, all right, what are you gonna do? You can't. These people are gonna keep pushing these guys in your face constantly. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. So yeah. Oh, information, man. Thanks for coming through, bro. Yeah. You know, you had that clip on Deion Sanders, and listen, bro. Umar is just, listen. I like it. That's it, bro. I mean, if you can't see at this point that this dude is running game, and for Charlemagne, if he thinks that people are gonna forget about the Breakfast Club and the type of stuff that they pushed on us for the past couple of years, he's crazy. He's crazy, bro. So yeah, man. All right. So yeah, so everybody, Tristan Townsend, and yeah, like I said, check out the shockumentary, check out Lennon's shockumentary. I mean, you know, and yeah, this is just a full Broad Street hustle, bro. That's all it is. Yeah, man. So I just want to, thank y'all for coming through. Like I said, I didn't want to make this long, but Umar, man. I mean, if y'all are still, there's still people who believe it, and if anything else major comes up with Umar and as far as this bomb shelter that he's trying to run, then yeah, whenever the place closes down, I think he's still got another decade in him to run the scam. I really do. I think he's skilled enough to keep this going for another decade, bro. But this Breakfast Club interview, when you watch it with a keen ear, the things you listen for, what he said at the beginning, and I'm gonna play that shit again before we leave up out of here. Information, man. What's up? What's going on, man? Hold on, let me push this through. Hey, wait, are you in? Hold on a second. I thought I put you in. One second. Let me see. I don't know why. Hold on. I just put you in hold on. I just pressed this. You're supposed to get in. Hold on. And there we go. Oh, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. The question is, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if you saw this today. I mean, I saw it the first 7 minutes. I was completely turned off because, of course, tossed us under the bus again, saying that he had to go out and get white contractors, all right, because he couldn't find any. Now, mind you, he was on the Breakfast Club back in April of 2021, last time. That's over a year and a half, all right? And he said the same exact shit, threw us right underneath the bus, saying that he couldn't find any contractors, comes back again, says the same thing again, and said that white contractors set him up in less than 3 months. And you had Envy co-signing the shit, and Charlemagne didn't give any pushback on the shit. I mean, like, and at the end, also, what bothered me is that they were saying giving lashes. Black, and these are black people who I don't even mess with. Candace Owens, I don't mess with. Kanye, I don't mess with. I mean, Stephen A. Smith. But when you're on there saying that, oh, this person gets 50,000 lashes, this person gets 100,000 lashes, this person gets, Shannon gets 250,000 lashes. I mean, Shannon obviously will break him like a toothpick. But you spoke about Jerry Jones and Brett Favre, and you did not say that about them, not once. So that's why I named this stream what I named it. What say you?
Well, I didn't get a chance to see the interview, but then I didn't miss anything because we already know what Umar does. It's been talked about before. He goes on. It's a transactional relationship. He goes on the Breakfast Club as a way to up his money in donations.
Right.
It's a way to manipulate the people that follow him to give him more money, because being on Breakfast Club gives him some type of legitimacy. Breakfast Club is definitely trying to up their ratings, so then they bring him on, even though they probably know that he's a liar. That's why when you say Charlemagne didn't say anything, because at the end of the day, they know that Umar is a shyster, but they know it. But they know that he meets their bottom line, which is why they keep bringing him on.
Yep.
But it also shows you a more deeper problem, Nappy Yankee or Naps, is that the deeper problem is that these programs like Breakfast Club, who people think are supposed to reflect the Black community, programs that get a lot of views and a lot of promotion on YouTube. Every time you get on YouTube, even if you're not subscribed to the Breakfast Club, YouTube keeps pushing them to you, because what it is, it's controlled programming to make you think that they speak for the Black community. No, if they really cared about the Black community, they would not have Umar on their show every damn year. They would be like, we're done with Umar, and they would make an announcement and say, until Umar shows us that he's serious about building a school, we're never having him on this program. But the fact that they don't do that shows you that the breakfast disaster isn't in the business of what's in the best interest of Black people. They're in the best interest of what's good for their ratings, and that's just the bottom line. It's radio, it's entertainment for the purpose. And to be quite honest with you, if you look at most of the stuff that they have on the Breakfast Club, it's low vibration, low hanging fruit. They bring on the most ridiculous people. They have the most ridiculous topics. Every now and then, Charlemagne will call himself giving you some breakdown of something that a third grader could have figured out without you needing to listen to him. So it's a complete waste of time. And look, I've said this. Honors has said this. Everybody has said this, that Umar is going to figure out a way to flip it, whether he's going to blame Black people for not giving him enough money, or he's going to slip it into, it was the white man that did it to us. So first he said that he was dealing with Black contractors, even though, have you all thought about this? Umar Johnson has never named the name of the contracting companies. Never. And if Umar was a professional, he would have a signed contract with these contractors, so that if they did poor work, he could take them to small claims court. Two, now he says, well, I can't deal with black folks, so I got to deal with white folks. So now he comes back and does exactly what we've already predicted. He's going to say that the white supremacy is trying to keep him down from building a school. Well, why don't you, Umar Johnson, take them to court and get your money back? He hasn't done that. Why hasn't Umar Johnson, did he name on the Breakfast Club the name of the company that he dealt with? Yes or no? No, that tell you right there that it's buffoonery. He's lying. He's stalling because he's just using the building and using everything he's doing as a tactic to squeeze more money out of black folks. And by this point, I'm going to just keep it real with you. At this point in time, anybody that believes in Umar Johnson and thinks this is a real thing that's happening, you are the biggest buffoon. You are the biggest buffoon, the biggest idiot. You've been as Malcolm X said, you've been hoodwinked, you've been run amok. You've been disenfranchised if you still believe this shit. So with that said, how can anyone continue to give him money in good faith when he keeps playing a game? Here we are in the year 2022. Naps, we're about to go in the year 2023. How long are black people going to continue playing this? And then let me just say this. I don't know what your real opinion is about Deion. I'm doing a show about him tomorrow. But I think what we have here, once again, is a problem that some black people have, which is we have a Messiah complex. We think that one man is supposed to save us. Deion leaves the historical black college where there was some funny business going on with his money there. And when he leaves, now black people are angry because they thought that one man was going to take the whole damn HBCU to the promised land. When it's more than one man, it has to be a collective of people. You see, same thing with Umar Johnson. We think that Umar Johnson's one school in Delaware in one of the worst criminal environments is going to save all black youngsters in the universe of America. Bullshit.
I listen, I said this yesterday on my stream, and JD and Foreman, thanks for coming. Listen, I said the situation with Deion Sanders is our faith in these celebrities. All right. Deion got a raise for 16 times what he was getting paid. Plus he gave half of his salary to help with the school, and they're gonna take back $300,000 from him. All right. So there's the two sides. I mean, Deion did come in with this, he came in on some Wakanda type fantasy stuff where he said, I came here and I'm gonna build this school, and they thought that this was gonna be a star for black colleges. No, he's Deion. So I mean, basically the only person who could do that is a Deion Sanders, and when they offer him that type of money, he's not gonna stay there. There's so many different things that go with the Deion situation. But JD and Foreman, you came up. What's going on, bro?
Oh, what's going on, man? How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. What do you got to say about, what we just witnessed?
I mean, it was a tragedy. I didn't actually watch the whole interview. I did go and check out the comment section, and it's a full circus, man. And I just wanted to drop it's a full circus, brother. I just wanted to drop this, man. I mean, Umar, his situation is it's the downfall of what we see with black people. I mean, they actually believe it. They don't do their research on this guy. There's so much information out there that points to he's a scammer, that he's, using black people only for monetary gain. At the same time, he's not building anything. He's talking about he's nation building all the time, but you can't find anything that he's built. But I also want to point this out. I'm looking forward to Lennon Honor's documentary that's coming out about Umar. But Umar took money like 3 months ago for his some documentary
documentary, which he's never going to do.
Yeah, so he took money for that again, and he hasn't produced anything. He did a live stream. He collected like $800 in a live stream, and I'm looking at this is another scam that he has running, and congruent with his school scam, and these I really can't understand why people are just so falling over for him just because he can speak well and he can do all this other stuff. And one more point before I leave, I make it in the comments, regardless of what we think of Umar, let's just say that we believe in him, and he talks about Deion Sanders going to HBCUs. Why is Umar Johnson going to HBCUs and talking for free if he believes in HBCUs and we're on our last stand and we need to do something about it? Why is he not giving up his free time, which he has a lot of free time to give up, to go to these HBCUs and make an impression on these young people?
There's a very simple answer to that. It's the same reason that Dyson or Cornell or a lot of these other scholars, you talk a lot of that too. Money. That's the reason. All right. For the same reason he's criticizing Dion for money. And if they don't pay enough money, he'll end up doing what he's doing with these phantom black contractors that they're not giving them any money. So that's why. I mean, there's an HBCU right down there in Delaware. All right. When is he hooked up with them? But again, he hasn't hooked up with any of the council people there. He hasn't hooked up with anybody. That I literally think that may be his place of residence. It has to be. So yeah, he said a lot of shit, and of course, Charlamagne didn't press him because Charlamagne saw that Lord Jamar interview, and Lord Jamar was pressing him, and Umar started going nuts and started losing his mind. And you saw towards the end when Charlamagne gave a little pushback on Dion, Umar lost his mind. So he wants him, because Charlamagne has a new show, so he wants to keep Umar so he can get some more ratings to start off his show. So yeah, that's the reason. It's money. It has to do with money. The same reason he's criticizing what's his name? Deion Sanders. Same thing.
Right. And I want to say one more thing before I get out of here. Speaking of court cases, Make a Change did a good video about the court case between Umar and Don. So Umar states that he can't find any black contractors, but from what the court case I was looking at that Make a Change put out, it looked like he's screwing people over in these contracts, as pointed out by so many other people like Lennon Honor, yourself, Make a Change. Right. They're screwing over these people, so they don't want to work with you. And that's why you can't keep any black contractors or any contractors for that matter, because it's taking you forever just to get simply the lights done or get the HVAC.
But it's not only that. Look at who he's hiring. Don? I mean, look at the people. Don, that guy in my video, Leon, look at who he's hiring. I mean, come on already. Don is someone who, after the school is built, that's when, listen, you want to help around and do some little work. He hired him. Like, this man he collected millions of dollars, millions. And he gets the most low level. Like, Don didn't have a place to stay. He was literally homeless. And he hires him and gives him $3,000. Where do you think it was going to go to? Word is he went and found some chick to be with. What do you think was going to happen? That guy is not responsible for anything. You're supposed to, for something like that, you're supposed to have a team. You're supposed to have a project manager. You have all that. He had none of that. So, like, come on, shit. There's no problem. I'm in IT. I work in banks. I used to do projects in banks all the time. They have me setting up the equipment, but then they had project managers. They have people who's ripping out walls, and you see none of that over at that school. Shit. Right. And there are people who still, there are people who turn around and like they figured it out, but there are people who still 100% believe in it. You should, I don't know if you saw the post when he put up the sign, that little BS sign. People in the chat like, yeah, it's the process, doctor. Like, what? So yeah, man, it's like I said, I can't get my blood pressure up over it. But man, the people that these guys deal with, him, the Therese, they are, let's face it, they're on the slow bus, bro. Everybody can get gamed. I get it. Anybody can. But when you see it and you got grown men co-signing this, like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to say.
You're absolutely right, man. That's all I want to say, man. Thanks for letting me up.
Jay, you're always welcome. Thanks again, bro. Information, man. You got anything else to add to this?
Yeah, peace to Jay. I want to mention something else. I've been looking at Tahaka Bey and what he's been doing on his channel in terms of as it relates to Tariq.
Yes.
Now, I know he was broadcasting into something called, because I have it myself, ODYSEE. What's that? Odyssey. He was broadcasting into Odyssey and simultaneously broadcasting into YouTube. And he kept telling his audience to go over to his Odyssey account where he was actually showing you the sliders of his evidence. And he did that because I think on Odyssey, they don't have these rules like YouTube where they censor what you're doing. So I think what he did is he broadcast YouTube and he was just talking, but you didn't see the sliders. I think he did that as a way to keep people from being able to shut the channel down. But you're telling me today that he got his channel taken down because okay, so it's like gone.
Well, hopefully he saved it somewhere. But yeah, Tariq Nasheed, he took down Morris World TV. I guess he must have restarted some way. But what it shows you, well, Morris World TV, it's a different channel now, but he took down the original channel. What this tells you is that the way Tariq gets people's governments, the way that he moves, it's almost like he punches into Langley every morning before he goes out to do lives. All right. For him to do what he did, and this guy he's another one, all right, like collected millions for a museum, which first of all is not going to bring you closer to reparations. I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's the same with Umar. Just bought like a cheap like beauty parlor, it seems, and nothing's happening with it. No contractors, didn't hook up with any political. It's the same script. They all use the same script. The only difference with Umar and Tariq, you knew he was going to be more polished. He's not going to be messy like Umar, but it's the same thing. And Morris World TV and Brandon, to be fair, to give him credit, he's been on Tariq's neck, and they're actually he actually served Brandon. All right, so he served him papers, so he's got to go to court because Tariq has now served him, saying that he's harassing him and that Brandon was threatening him. So this is what it's come down to now. I mean, I don't rock with Brandon, some of his political points of view, but let's face it. I mean, for him to go out and put papers on Brandon, and he's even got people in that FBA cult that have threatened Brandon. They went on a live and they were like talking about going out to see dude. All right, so this is just how crazy it's gotten. But yeah, he took Tarhaka Bay's channel down, and I'm guessing Tarhaka Bay is probably on some other platform. He has to have saved.
Yeah, he's on a platform called Odyssey. Yep. So if people want to look at some of his videos, ODYSEE, Odyssey. Odyssey is another social media page where you can upload and you can go live on that system.
ODYSEE.
It's almost like you know how you have those sites like Rumble. It's one of those places where they allow you to be a little bit more raw without worrying about getting shut down because they're not under the same rules of YouTube. And the reason why YouTube is like that because YouTube has become corporate with sponsors and all of that, and that's why it happens. And I would imagine that Tariq had the power to take his channel down because Tariq has been on YouTube for a long time. And obviously, when you look at Tariq's channel versus Tarhaka Bay, YouTube is looking at show me the money. So they're making more money off of Tariq, and I bet you Tariq had an easy. I bet you Tariq was able to get in contact with YouTube very easily to make his complaints heard. And when they realize, oh, it's Tariq Nasheed, we're making money off of his channel because he generates these many views and what have you. Of course, they were going to take Tarhaka Bay down, and Tariq can make the argument because I got to be honest. Tarhaka Bay is showing very sensitive information. And what I understand about YouTube is that anytime you start showing where people live and you start showing like personal information where family members are involved, I think that's where Tariq probably got him because technically you're not supposed to show information about people's personals or their family, even if what he's doing is trying to expose Tariq, technically on YouTube, you're not supposed to do that, and they'll take your. So all Tariq probably did was say, "Hey, he's showing personal information. He's talking about my mom, my dad. He's showing photos." That's probably why, it got taken down. Because we're under some kind of rule. Now, I know Tahanka Bey said that he's going to go hardcore now. He's going to go to LA. He's going to file his complaints because he said that Tariq was calling him a sex offender. And he's saying that, he said that that's not true. He's not reading my record right. So I think he'll do what he has to do. Look, man, I don't know why. My problem is that I'm trying to figure out black people. Why do we go for these Messiah individuals? Why do we go for people trying to either sell us something, sell us on a dream, and then they can sell us on something and we don't get any really thing for it? Now, I had a chance to see what Tariq purchased. My bone of contention with it is that it's nothing like what he sold it as being. He said that he needed this much money, and he used the video and all the other props to get people to give him so much money. Because he sold people on this idea that he's going to have a 2-story museum, a viewing room, and all these different things. Now, when you look at what he purchased, that damn place is not big enough for a museum. It doesn't have enough space. It doesn't even have any of the things that he claimed that he was going to get. So, and then this whole thing about it was occupied already. I got to give to Tahanka Bey credit. It is true. And he does make a good point. If you're going to tell people to support you, you got to be transparent with everything because you're dealing with the people's money. But this is how it works, Nappy Yankee. You have people that can run game on you for years and years. And the way the universe works is that what goes around comes around. And I think people who scam black people, it may seem like they're getting away with it for now, folks, but eventually the darkness and the light will come out of the darkness, and the light will come out, and these kind of individuals will be exposed for what they are. But it'll be at the unfortunateness of our people feeling really betrayed because they'll say, damn it, all these years I was believing in this person and blah, 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 blah. And that's the way it works.
Yeah. And to be fair, everything you said that they did to Tariq did it to other people. I mean, he did do that to Brandon. He did do that to Zaza Ali. He did it to Tahanka. He did it to all these people. So he does the same thing.
Right. I mean, to the brother right here, he says, Mr. Evans, he says, Tariq's going to come out on top after this. This is over. This
is the brother.
Those dudes want to clout chase. Look, man. Look.
Hold on, information, man. Hold on a second. This is the guy that said it. Anthony, explain that statement.
No. Let me just say this. I gotta say this because this is a word that black people seem to be in love with all the time. This new word that we've discovered, clout. The bottom line, if your ass is on social media and you got a YouTube channel, I got a couple of YouTube channels. You got black folks on Facebook. We got black folks on all social media trying to do what? Trying to get attention from the public, trying to tell your story, trying to promote something such as maybe an idea, or maybe you're doing commentary on social commentary. Guess what? Anything that you're doing where you're trying to evoke the consciousness and the attention of the public through whatever you're talking about, good or bad, you are by definition clout chasing, because clout chasing is you're trying to bring attention to yourself. So that's a word that gets overused because everybody is clout chasing on one. You clout chase at work when you're trying to get more damn money. You clout chase when you leave one job like Dion did and go to another job for more money to take care of your family. You're always clout chasing. Can we stop overusing that damn ass word? We think we're smart with that word, and we're not. Because we're all cloud chasing. Now, I'll listen to what Brother Anthony has to say respectfully.
What's up, Naps? What's up, information, man? I never have been on a panel with information, man. But what I'm saying is there's clout chasing for trying to get, like, let's say, clicks and views. We know that, I make little videos here and there, right? But it's another thing when you're clout chasing and you're walking in the street saying, do you guys know Tariq? where's Tariq? You're showing up at little events. Where's Tariq? Where's Tariq? That's borderline harassment at that point. So it's like, it's clout chasing, but then it's also, I mean, I've heard the guy say some outlandish things about Tariq personally, like pedo type of stuff, like with his wife and all types of stuff. Like that's like next level. It's not like you're just trolling and having fun. Like you're saying some shit that it's like making people look at him like, wait, he really did that? You know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's one thing if you're just trolling for some clicks and views, but when you start going in the streets, asking people if they know who that dude is, and you live in the same, like, you know, state, not too far from each other, that's a little bit extreme. As far as the Brandon thing, now Tahaka Bay, I mean, I don't really. I did see him put pictures of people's family. He had his like mom and sister and father, and talking about his father worked at this job. And I'm like, bro, that's too extreme. And now you want to sue him because he's coming back for you. And I think the information Tariq is talking about, I'm pretty sure Saad Netter and Tahaka Bay went back at it too. So this isn't the first time this type of paperwork has been put out there. Like, but that's why I think Tariq might have got it from, because they went back at it before too.
But Tariq has gotten everybody's government. Everybody. All right. How do you do that so quickly? And again, his mother is a former cop, you know, so I mean, he gets everybody's government that he gets in disagreement with. How? Why? This guy's supposed to be so street. Everything with this dude is about being street, but he's a glorified snitch.
I mean, when I said that he's going to come up on top, what I mean is I feel like from what we know, from like him, Brandon, and Tahaka Bay, he probably has way more financial resources to pretty much back him. You know what I mean? If they had the same type of like resources that he had, it might be different. But I think he has the resources that's going to back him up in all of this.
Well, I wanted to say this to Brother Anthony. He does make a good point, Nappy Yankee, because if you look at the years that Tariq has been online and he's had back and forth battles with people, I have to be honest about it. He has come on top. Every time he's had a back and forth with people, he usually comes up on top. And a lot of it has to do with what he just said. Tariq has the money and the resources. He can make puppets out of you. He can make us, you know, he can make a little, you know, he can make commercials. Let's take it. Let's give you an example. Look at what he did to Tommy. He made a freaking video game.
Yeah, he did make a video game out of it. But see, here's the difference with. But see, all of that was funny. But here's the difference, though.
I know, but I'm just saying that's resources,
right? But see, here's the thing. And again, I said that these guys, their followers are slow as hell. You gave it. It costs money for this animation. It costs a lot of money to do what he's doing. All this money. And he puts to this and to make a video for a rap video and all this other shit. And you mean to tell me you didn't go anywhere near the museum where, again, the money he collected, that was quote unquote seed money for a $7 million project. All right. That's when, and I don't feel sorry for a lot of these dudes, but come on, already. I know people are not going to see it. Now, I think that what he did with this FBA thing, that's kind of next level. I think that he offended he didn't just offend one person. He offended a bunch of people. And a bunch of these people are not afraid to go at him. The Michi X's, the Brandons, the Tahakas, they know their way around the internet just like he does. So I think, I don't know, will he fall? I don't know, but I think this is a little different.
In the case of Tahaka Bay, when I listen to him speak, he sounds very serious about taking it to the next level. So he's saying that he's trying to come out and do more research in California, that he's going to also file his lawsuit or what have you. So we'll see how it all works out in the wash. But getting to the point that the brother was saying, because he does have money and resources, the resources allow you to really throw a better jab at people, right? So everybody's throwing jabs right now, right? Like a boxing match. But it's who can get off the most jabs without taking the most hits. And so far, Tariq has a record in which he's been able to put out more jabs and duck more hits because he has a larger audience that backs his play and believes in him, right? Because they see him as popular. So the only way you can bring him down a notch is that you have to have someone like Tahaka Bay or someone who has a legitimate legal suit against him that can bring him a few notches down through the legal system. You're not going to beat him on the internet going back and forth with him because he's too clever with his jokes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it has to be in the courts.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this, yo, real quick. I'm about to get off, but the only time I think I seen him stumble is, you guys remember when he was going at them tech kind of dudes, them gamer dudes.
Yeah,
y'all remember that? That was the only time I really seen him look like he was a little scared. You know what I mean? Like, they was like putting his address out there, calling his phone, trying to say his address on the phone, and he looked like, that was the time where I saw him, like, there was in his chat, spamming his chat. I'm like, damn.
Right. That's because if you look at how the white boys operate on social media, he knew that they had the resources and the time and energy and the technological skills to spoof him. Matter of fact, when that situation happened to him at his home where he got swatted by the police, people believed that was also done by those crew of white boys who were using. So I'm going to say something that people are not going to like here. Black people have no problem messing with black people because sometimes we don't fear the consequences of some black people. But when we come against, I hate to say this, when we go against white people, there's a little bit of fear that, damn it, they might have the resources to fuck me up back. When we deal with our own people, we see it on YouTube where people go back and forth and be like, oh, you ain't gonna do nothing. And we believe that because we don't think that any of us have any money, any connections to do nothing. So we have no fear of consequences other than one thing, that there's a potential that the person can pull up on me and start beating me up. But the white boys ain't going to pull up on you. They're going to pull up on you in the goddamn court of law. And then they're going to take your house, your car, and everything you got through lawsuits.
But that tells you everything you need to know. He's a scary dude. Kofi, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up, Nas? What's up?
Yeah, this just shows you that dude's a really scary dude. That's an indictment on him. So what's up, Kofi?
What's up? I think y'all giving Tariq a little bit too much credit. For those who don't know him, I mean, I used to follow Tariq before he got on the whole ADOS, FBA grift. He was all black people, we all family, all this, we all that. But when it's come time for him to make money, then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna siphon some people from ADOS and create his own thing. So about Tariq roasting people, come on, man. We grown ass men here, right? If he's talking real talk, he's talking about reparations, and I'm going to show you guys how to get reparations. The Democrats ain't doing nothing. The Republicans are hate mongers. HR 40 ain't shit, and all this other stuff. So the reason why he's at this point where he is right now, because he's a liar. And the reason why he got so far, you got a lot of people that support him in his lies. So like you said, Naps, his followers are idiots. I spoke to them on Twitter. You got a lot of them that's hating on Africans and Caribbean people. And when I talk to them, their girlfriend is African. Their girlfriend's like, I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? How you riding with Tariq knowing he's full of shit? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I don't get people. I mean, if you want to talk about, he jokes, he cracks up people and stuff like that. Yeah, but Tariq could never be in a forum or in a space where you could have an actual factual debate, all jokes aside. You can't. He has to be controlled opposition. When he's in a space, like I remember like back in the day when he first started, before I had my channel, before he was on that FBA bullshit, he came here right where you and I are, Naps, in New York. He went to Harlem. He went on Saw in the studios. He was talking to Garfield. Garfield was making, and he was like, "Yo, what's up with that FB? What's up with that FBA stuff? All that old oxtail Jollof shit? Nah, he was on his P's and Q's.
Yes.
You think he could talk like that in the middle of Harlem?
No.
And saw that as Dominican?
No.
This dude's a fucking joke. No, he's not. Anyone that knows, look, no disrespect to my Southern people, but it seems like a lot of country ass people be co-signing this bullshit because you cannot talk like that when you go. You cannot talk like that when you go to Miami. You cannot talk like that when you go to New York. You can't talk like that when you go to Texas. You can't talk like that when you go to certain places in Cali.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, dude is a fucking coward. You know what I'm saying? He stays there in his basement with his white mother-in-law living there and everything. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think that this dude got all this heart. I'm like, are you serious?
I like I said, I mean, he's a scary dude. And again, the fact that I don't expect him to go out in the street and scrap with dudes, but then again, he loves that street and he talks about that all the time. All right. When these rappers get killed, like when that rapper, I forgot his name, that got shot up in that restaurant, that pancake restaurant. Yeah. He got shot up in that restaurant. Tariq's first thing is, man, why'd they shoot him up? Now it's gonna make the block hot. I'm like, bro, who gives a shit? I don't give a shit if the block's hot. I mean, the dude just got killed, for bullshit. What if the block's hot? But he's always on that street mode.
But the reality, the reality is, Nappy Yankee, that Tariq doesn't live on those same streets that he's talking about. We already know where he lives. He lives in a very wealthy area in a mansion. So whatever's happening on the block doesn't impact him. So why is it that we keep talking about what the block's going to do? What's going to happen to the block? Like you live on the block.
Street cred. Yeah, he still wants street cred. He wants to be in Hollywood with street cred. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be like he wants to be like Snoop Dogg. Yeah, I'm out that Hollywood life, but you know what I'm saying? I'm still a Crip, on the low. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to portray. Like, no, you can't do that. Like any OGs out here, if you get to be an OGs that I know, they ain't doing gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they got a lot to live for right now.
Right. They got kids. They got a family.
Exactly. I can't do that bullshit no more.
Right. You grow out of certain things. You don't see Ice-T. You're not seeing
Dre.
Dre. You don't see them out there that they're conducting bit. Hell, even 50 Cent ain't even doing this sort of stuff, man. He's sitting up here trying to be a mobile. So it's just a bunch of nonsense. And so all I would say is this, Nappy Yankee, that Naps, that and I think the brother here said it good. It's a sad how some of our people can be led down the wrong path.
Yep.
So simple. And all it takes, and one of our problems is that we love to follow personalities, but we fail and do not want to be with legitimate leadership. So when you look, for example, say what you will about Yvette Carnell or Tone Talks, but the reality when it comes to the question of reparations, they had the right blueprint, because you're not going to get reparations without engaging in politics. You can't get reparations in this country. This country's not going to just give it to you because you say you're FBA unless you do politics. And Tariq said himself, I'm not a leader and we're not a political movement. Well, guess what? You got to have some form of leadership to get things going, get things done, or the collective has to work as leaders, and you have to have some form of politics. So even though he had a rally in DC out there on that mat, that's not where you need to be to make reparations happen. You got to be inside those state buildings to make it happen.
That was a picnic.
Right, and if you're not willing,
had an after party after,
right?
That
speaks to what I'm saying. We have too many black people that are more caught up with partying and a personality rather than true leadership. And as long as we keep following personalities and not true leadership, then it goes no way. Now, one of the words that people use a lot, and I think this word is being overused, and it's almost like it's not having any meaning anymore, is that people say we got to be on code.
Yeah,
and that's the word that he uses a lot, right? But I think I think it's not having any it doesn't have any gravity to it, because when you say be on code, well, what is it to be on code when you're just having parties, a bunch of hot air people speaking at a rally, and a lot of those people he had speaking at that rally are really Pan-African. They weren't, a lot of them don't have any connection to reparations.
Yeah, he had Dr. Kava there, Dr. James Smalls there. He keeps downplaying shit on Pan-Africanism, and you got Pan-Africanists speaking at your damn FBA rally. And then all the people there, they're not even saying or calling out. That's how you know it's a cult. When you can't say anything against the cult leader, you know you're a goddamn cult.
The cult leader who says he's not a leader but takes all the benefits of leadership. It's a mess, bro. And again, it's the fact that he does what he does, and it just circles right back into this. Did you catch the Umar interview, Kofi?
I saw a little bit of it. You know, you and I, we kind of
I
differ
know
on the
you
whole
probably
Dr.
differ, you
Johnson
probably
thing.
differ, but listen, the man at the beginning of it, basically blamed black people. See, and I'm cool with there's some people who like Umar. I get it. Some people aren't really privy to the school scam, which is what it is. I know that he says a lot of things that sound good, but to listen, when you blaming black people who gave you hundreds of millions of dollars, all right, and then say that I had to get white people on world, and you get no pushback, then bro, it's like I'm just done with it. I mean, right now I'm just gonna watch this whole thing just crash and burn, just like with Tariq. I mean, I keep saying these two, Tariq, Umar, Jay Morrison, Peter Light, they're all the same, bro. They just do different methods. That's it.
I feel Dr. Umar is a little bit more genuine, right?
Right.
Dr. Umar is a little more genuine because number one, Dr. Umar, this is his job, this is his life work. He stays on one thing. He doesn't,
Right.
he's not like Tariq Nasheed, oh, I'm gonna do this now. Oh, I'm gonna
That's
do that
true.
now. Give me money
That's
for
true.
this. Give me money for
That's
that.
true.
Give me money for
That's
that.
true.
Umar is very slow with it and stuff like that.
Right.
If someone came by like, yo, brother Umar, I see what you're trying to do. How much you say you need? You say you don't need it like what? Like 100 grand? Here's 200 grand. I want the school on and popping in 6 months.
Right.
If some shit like that happened, and then you like, yo, he still ain't got the school, then it's versus
Yeah, but see,
Tariq, where he said
right.
he got all these celebrity friends,
Right.
and they donated, and you come up with a hot dog stand.
Right.
You got
But
a
see,
laundromat.
right. But see, here's the thing: people did do that for Umar. They gave him money. They offered free labor. Just think about this: free labor to put together an HVAC. There's so many free things. That's what burns me about this. People have offered to do major work for that school for free, and he turned them away because if they do it for free, then he'd have no more excuses of not to collect money. That's
Right.
why. So it's just part of the scam, bro. So again, I know some people like him, and like there are some people who are critical thinkers, but they still hold out hope for Umar. I get it. I've already made my decision. I went down there. I saw that joint and I saw what he was doing. And I was a fan the day before I went down there too. And after the day, I was like, yo, like, what are you doing, my nigga? And that's basically what it was, bro.
All right. You more privy to the day to day with Umar. All I
Yeah.
know, it looks something that's possible. If something shady's happening, then okay. But from like the dude ain't flossing like Tariq, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Dude ain't flossing. Dude is pretty much dressed in a very humble manner. You know what I'm saying? So
I know.
I'm not gonna make a decision either way, but he's really not, throwing it in your face like Tariq. Yo, family, I'm out here in Dubai, family, and they're like,
I know.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's how you can be. You can. But this is the thing, brother. You have to understand how scams can be wrapped in many different gifts. You can have someone that's flossing. You can have someone that's not flossing. Hell, I can walk down. I can walk in the streets of my area, and you will see people who are dressed very down, and you would think that they're poor and they got no money, and you find out that they're the richest motherfucker in the damn area. That they're worth billions of dollars. This is this reality that you just can't go by the fact that he dresses in a humble way. I look at results. What are the results? Now, I donated to Umar Johnson when I knew of him many years ago when he was talking about this way back when. Brother, I've got gray hair and I got a 15-year-old daughter. How long does it take to build a damn school? And the reason why I'm getting on Umar like this is because every time legitimate people want to work with Umar and he turns them down, it's because Umar doesn't want you to see what's the books. He doesn't want to be accountable for the money that he's collecting, because if any big investors get involved, they're going to want to see Do you got books? Are you keeping your books? What's the deal here? When he went off on Lord Jamal was offering his father-in-law, who's legitimately built a school, that could give him assistance. But he shouted that down because what? That comes with accountability. Umar tells us that he's already got teachers and elders. Ask yourself this, Brother Koof. Why is it if Umar has all these things in place, such as elders and a board of people helping him? Why is it that we've never seen any of these people, any of these elders, any of these black professionals or black teachers to come out and let us know what's going on with the school? Because he really doesn't have it. He's a one-man show, very narcissistic. And by him being a one-man show, he controls the flow in and out of what's going on financially. That's a very, in my opinion, a very serious problem. I myself, brother, have interviewed a brother who rendered him designs for what his school could look like. And he failed because he didn't have a good system to get in contact with this brother, to be able to use that brother's rendering for the design for the school and how it can be revamped. And the brother did this for free of charge, came up with designs. Also, guess what? Umar doesn't even own the domain name to FNG. He didn't do the proper thing you're supposed to do is create a website so that people can go to that website and see what the progress is, so that people can go to that website and they can donate money. He doesn't even have a website domain name to the name of the school. He hasn't even changed anything. What he's doing is he's doing cosmetics, which is like a magician pulling out a rabbit out of a hat. Let me put this sign up here, FMG school. Let me finally put the HVAC up. It's all this stuff. And then he always stays in one part of the school, which is the big gym, but he's not showing you other parts of the school. You're not seeing any new glass being put in. You're not seeing any men with hard hats taking down sheetrock, putting up sheetrock. You're not seeing any construction crew in and out of that school. And if you know he had it going on like that, as arrogant as he is, he would show it to you on video. He would show you all the workers eating their lunch, knocking the hammers, bringing stuff in, desks being moved in, glass being put in, the whole 9 yards. And he cannot build a school on donations. What about the nurses? You have to have nurses, a nursing staff. You got to have teacher faculty. You got to have counselors. You have to have security. You have to have, will this school even pass inspection, electrical inspection? No, because he's got this school that he purchased in a Browning community that has environmental problems. So he would never be able to open up the school because he does not have the various money that it takes to open up a real school because he wants to do it alone. That's a fucking problem.
Now, I did learn something. I didn't know Lord Jamal offered services. That I didn't know.
It's on video. I did Honors did a video where he included that. I did a video too. Nappy did a video. I did a video that included the interview that he did with Lord Jamal, and he was talking to Lord Jamal like Lord Jamal was a piece of shit. Lord Jamal was like saying, "Wait a minute, brother. All I'm trying to ask you is that we pick the right real estate. Did we get the right place?" He said to him very respectfully, "You're definitely the man in terms of the education, in terms to motivate the students, but are you the best man for the real estate?" Because what he was saying is that I'm willing to get people to help you, Umar, who can do areas that you may not be an expert on, so they can take some pressure off of you to be able to do other things to build a school. And Umar was like, "I got everything I need, and my school ain't gonna be like his school. My school's gonna be a Pan-African school." And then Lord Jamal said the concept may be different, but the idea of how you build a school remains the same. He has a father-in-law who has a legitimate school in New York. I believe Nappy Yankee has seen that school.
You're in New York, right? Kofi, you're in New York.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm in Queens.
Yeah.
I'm in Brooklyn,
All
Queens.
right.
Yeah.
He has a legitimate school
down Atlantic Avenue, Trey Whitfield School.
Trey Whitfield.
Atlantic and what? Like Atlantic is down where, like downtown Brooklyn?
Yeah, right. If you go right down, you're gonna see the big billboard, Trey Whitfield School. That's his father-in-law school. If you've driven down Atlantic over by Pennsylvania Avenue, you've seen that billboard.
Okay. I know where
the kid. That's his father-in-law's school. School, which he built from scratch.
Right. He said his father-in-law started out in little bungalows, like little cubicles first, and he built the school over a number of years. And I think he did it within 6 or 7 years, and he has a big school now. And so he was saying to Umar very candidly, brother, he's saying, well, Umar, if you're doing all these things and you have all these things in place, why has it taken all these years, brothers, to build a school? Because my father-in-law was able to get his school going in a certain amount of time. And then, of course, Umar got angry and like, well, my school is going to be different than what his school is. And brother, I got it all in the wraps. I got elders. I got this. I got that. And it's like, you got that, but we don't see that. And so he gets very, Umar, to me, he's too emotional when it comes to people asking him very simple questions like, when will the school open? And then he'll go on people's shows and say, I got Negroes telling me when I'm going to open a school. It's a very logical question. It's been freaking how many years now, Nappy Yankee?
Sounds like Tariq when you ask Tariq, well, except for it's a little bit different. Yeah, Tariq, yo, what's up with that museum? Oh, you a tether. It's like, yo, I'm just asking you a question. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to get defensive.
Yeah, listen, bro. I mean, it's the same, and I've told you, it's the same strategy. It's the same thing. All right. When I'm sitting there arguing with Brandon over Umar, see, he'll act like he's going after all scammers, but he likes Umar. He has sacred cows himself.
We know that his bitch ass, like, yo, bro, we talk about scammers, right? The moment you tell this coon ass nigga that, yo, Donald Trump did scam on Trump University and he had to pay those people back, you're gonna start talking about a whole bunch of other shit. When you tell Brandon that Trump did like a campaign, did like a fund to Save America fund and all this other bullshit,
right?
Siphoning all that money, using it for other shit.
Of course, bro. You don't know how much these conscious dudes got from Trump. And I called him and the rightful dude, of course. I called them maggots. He nearly threw me off his show.
Yo, this shit was crazy, son. And what? First Rifleman, this nigga sound like Carlton Banks. I shit you not. Man. That dude sounds like Carlton Banks.
Let me tell you something. Listen, when you heard Trump's speech for presidency, he didn't even mention Republican. It's a cult. It's a full call, bro.
It is.
And let's just keep it real. Brandon, before he's anything, he's a conservative Republican. He can talk about Pan-African and whatever. He is a conservative Republican first.
But I can't stand that shit. That shit makes no sense. It's like oil and water. How can you be a Republican and be a Pan-African?
Bro,
that's like saying I'm a Pan-Africanist, KKK, Nazi white nationalist. Like that shit don't mix.
I don't know. Information. I think what's that guy's show? What's that guy's name? The guy who did the rendering for Umar.
I think it was Michael. I can't think of it offhand. It's been a while. I did that video like maybe a year or two ago.
I'm looking for.
I probably got his email. I probably got his email in my phone, but the name I know it was Mike something, or something of that nature. But the bottom line is, as informant is saying in the chat room. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. He said that Umar says that he's opening the school February 2023. Is that right? Is that the new date that he's pushed up to?
February 23. God.
Now let's use some logic here. Let's use some logic here. Hold on
a second. I don't want to cut you off. So
go ahead.
What is Umar's current problem as why he can't open the school? What's his hurdle?
Yeah, Marlon Mack was his name. Marlon Mack. Thank you,
Marlon
Black
Mack,
Anonymous.
Okay. Yeah, look, there's no. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, bro. There is no problem. He probably tricked off a lot of the money because he collected a whole lot of money, bro. He collected millions, so he might have tricked off all the money. He's probably just stalling now. My personal opinion, after just looking at this closely, I don't think he was ever looking to build a school. I think that it got to a point where he just figured out people like me, they're going to give me money anyway. Let me get this building and leave them at bay. Because when you look at what's happening with the school now, and when you heard what he said on the Breakfast Club and what he keeps saying, it just contradicts anything. You would see something going on at that school and nothing's happening. Nothing. There's no contractors. He hasn't hooked up with any of the the city, the councilman or city of, he has done nothing.
But what is he saying? Okay, so he's coming to collect donations, said donate to the Frederick Douglass School. What is he saying he need donations for? He needs donations to what? He got the HVAC system. What does he need donations for in order for him to open the school?
He doesn't give you those.
He's not specific.
He doesn't give you those specifics. He just simply says, if you're about, building something, donate to the school because I want to help Black boys. So what he does is he always hangs it around the idea of helping Black boys, but he doesn't give you details. Meaning, and when I was interviewing Marlon Mack, and thank you for putting his name out there, he doesn't give you, when you got something that's professional and you have a website, you put that on the website. You say, this is the goal that we're trying to make now. We need money to get HVAC. We need money to hire staff.
So he doesn't even have like a GoFundMe or anything like that?
He does. What he has, if you go to his website, he has, they're just links that has say PayPal. He's just asking for money.
Right.
Again, I listen, like I said.
That's a bad look.
But this is the thing, though.
Like I said, most people, I don't jump on people who claim they like Umar. Like, what's the name? Omar Wali. I think he likes Umar, Kofi. I don't jump on people because a lot of people, they haven't looked deep into what's going on. Like, listen, I haven't looked deeply into what's going on with Nature Boy. I just know the dude's a weirdo. After what he said, what he did with his kid and his wife, I'm like, bro, okay, yeah, this dude's just and the fact that he was a gay prostitute and shit. And I'm like, bro, okay, this dude's a weirdo. Yeah, this
him and Young Pharaoh.
Yeah, so I haven't gone deep into that, but I respect people who really like Max V has gone deep into that thing, and he's just been exposing a lot of shit. But when you see what's going on with Umar, and again, I know he's a likable guy and he's very, he's a very suggestive speaker and all that. The dude is simply a con man running a scam. Look, I took a picture of him. I got his book. But I went down there.
Me too. I got a picture of Umar too. He spoke at not Africa House on Flatbush, another one in Queens on Jamaica Avenue. Saw him there and everything, but it's kind of sad because he has a lot of potential. Now, has credentials, like the fact that he's scammed like this. He could legitimately, legally have a 9-to-5 job that pays very well.
And do you understand that as a principal? And I wanted to do a video about this. As a principal, you can make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year.
Easy.
I mean, someone like him, who is, again, he's not an idiot. I'll say that. He could have just stepped back and just let other people support him. People worship him. And this is what I don't understand. People like him, even Tariq didn't have to do what he did with Ados. He didn't have to do that. But he did it, I guess, because he has this need to have all eyes on him. He did not have to do anything. Ados was moving well. He just could have said, look, I'm going to contribute to my time and I'm going to just bump it up. And, I'm here on the side doing my thing. And people would have loved him. Instead, he came in, like I said earlier in this program, it's like, dude, it's like he punches in at Langley every morning before he goes live. It really does. So these guys don't have to do what they do.
The thing about it is, like, I think Umar, put it like this. I think I could be wrong. I think he really do care for Black people, but he probably found a bag. The thing I hate Tariq because Tariq, like you said, he didn't have to do anything that he did. He claims love Black people so much, and he'll turn in his own mother if he get some money out of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So yes. I mean, Tariq is more despicable. At least Umar, look, he's okay. I'm gonna agree with you guys. He's kind of scamming, he's shady on one side, but he's preaching on Black pride. He called people out. Tariq is just dividing the whole Black community up.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I think Umar Johnson would have been better off if he would have did an online school. Yes. Because we're living in the days where you don't necessarily need a brick and mortar. And what would have been more powerful about that is that he could have gotten to kids all across the country, creating a curriculum. Now, in the beginning, he said he didn't want to do that. He thought, but then he claimed he was going to do some online courses, and that never turned to fruition. But that's really what he should have done, because you can't build, if you do the math, If you just go online and do some research, you cannot build a school with donations if you're just getting nickel and dime donations. The only way you can build a school with donations, you have to have major $1 million donors. And when he's talking about athletes and entertainers like a dog, then there's no way that someone like LeBron James would cut a check. If he was better at being a diplomat, better at understanding that, hey, I got to do what I got to do to get this school open. If I'm going to have a brick and mortar, I've got to get some major donors in here, and I got to be able to carry myself professionally. It's just like what Honor said. When you look at Umar in the beginning, he wore suits. He spoke well. Now, he's always talking all this inappropriate stuff out of his mouth. He's ill dressed and what have you. That's not going to make anyone say, hey, I should send my child to a school that he's trying to build, because he comes off very unprofessionally. And so this is the thing. If he can't build a brick and mortar school, he would have made a lot of money if that's what he really wanted to make, just doing online courses and keep it legitimate. But the problem with Umar is that I think he's bitten off more than he can chew. I think he's made the promises too unrealistic as he gets up there talking about, we're going to have this. Dude, let's start with the basics. Let's just start with a regular school and go from there. Now, when you look at historical Black colleges, a Morehouse, a Spelman, all these different schools. This is our problem as Black people. See, the problem is that Umar wants to get all the flowers while he's alive. Some of those folks that built those schools back in the day, some of them that were built by Black people and not white people specifically, those people, those founders are not alive today to see their legacy. They did it for the love of the community at that time. They're not alive to get the flowers for what they built, to see Morehouse be a bigger school than what it was when it was just in some room or some boarding room, right? Umar wants all this stuff now, which is why in the beginning he kept saying, we're going to get St. Paul's, we're going to have dorms, we're going to have this and that. And then you find out later on, Kofi, that he never made a bid on the St. Paul schools. He simply went there for a photo op. The people that were there said that he just came up here and did a photo op. He didn't actually make a bid on these schools. So he's been clowning and capping from the very beginning when he made that video talking about he was going to buy St. Paul school, and he didn't put any bid on the damn school. So he's been manipulating this whole thing for this long. And our problem, and as I see it personally, is it goes back to the Messiah complex. We keep always believing that it takes one man is going to save us and bring us to the promised land, which is why people are mad at Deion Sanders, because they think that he's going to save all of HBCUs. It can't be one person. It has to be a collective.
Yeah. Now, let me first of all, look who has blessed the platform. We got the Empowered Esquire in the building. All right. So, thanks for coming on, Empowered. And you've seen the thumbnail and everything. There's a reason why I have that thumbnail there. Umar said, I don't know, did you hear the Breakfast Club interview this morning?
Well, let me start by saying good evening to everyone, including the gracious host, Naps, the artist formerly known as Nappy Yankee. I am glad that I finally caught a live. No, I didn't hear what he said on his 50 millionth Breakfast Club interview.
Yeah.
What did he say?
No, well, but he literally blamed Black people like he did a year and a half ago on his last Breakfast Club interview. Blamed Black people for not that, and said there were no Black contractors, so he had to go use white contractors in order to build the school. I mean, I can. It's short, but it was just so insulting. And this is one of the things that I can't take with Umar. People just let him get a pass, and of course, there was hardly any pushback. And then he went on, and it's only an hour, thank goodness. But yeah, that's why I just said what I said about him. This was a whole coon fest, in my opinion. But go ahead. What say you?
Well, have you all had the conversation yet? By the way, hello to Information Man, and hello to Kofi as well.
How you doing?
Kofi's from Yard, by the way.
Good to see you here.
Yeah.
Have you gentlemen had the conversation about the Breakfast Club? Because, I mean, we know what Umar Johnson is going to say. I think he's pretty much said the same thing for the past decade or so.
Yeah.
But what I wonder is, why does he continuously get invited onto the Breakfast Club? He doesn't have an album coming out. He's not an actor. He's not a music executive. He's not a director. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So why does he continue to get invited to the Breakfast Club?
Because the Breakfast Club is a dying platform and really, and I've said this earlier, we don't have any black press, whether it's the Breakfast Club, whether it's Fox Soul, we really don't have any black people in the press that are looking out for us, and they're put out there and shoved to the forefront and masquerade as voices for black people, when the fact is, when you look at it, the so-called white press, they'll at least hold some people accountable. They'll at least go back and say, well, wait a minute, doctor, you said this at this time, you said this at that time. They don't want to push back on Umar. Number one, he'll probably call them names, and secondly, they just want the content. And it's almost like it's hard pressed to find somebody who's going to do some real journalism. Shout out to Jamar, because Jamar, whether you like him or not, he did some real journalism in that interview with Umar. So the Breakfast Club, to me, a lot of what they do is just for ratings. They don't do any pushback, and it's really unfortunate.
Can I push back on that a little bit? Now, besides the school and things like that, sure, I'm going to disagree a little bit with you on that, because, again, besides the whole school, that's one issue. And when it comes to people, I try to, not throw the baby out with the bathwater. I give credit to the Breakfast Club for doing that. They're doing it for ratings or whatever. But the things that Umar is saying when you talk about black wealth, black relationships, self-hatred, things like that, those are all things we need to hear. The only time you see a black person, I just did a live today. And when you go through your studies, only black people that used to give platform like that was in the 80s and 90s when Farrakhan used to come on Donahue. You know what I'm saying? You Dr. Jeffries that teaches here, they used to teach here in New York. All these black scholars used to do that. Talk like that in the 80s on Dr. Amos Wilson, Francis Cress Wilson. So at least what he's saying, I think we need to hear. We need to hear. But besides the whole school thing, I like that they give him a platform. He said, because he needs to hear that.
Right.
Black people need to hear that.
Let me give pushback to that. I'm 53 years old. I don't need Umar to tell me something that I already know. The difference, brother, is that the other people that you're talking about, like Farrakhan, Great Sister, Francis Cressing, those individuals, they've done the work. They've got a pedigree. They got a history. The problem with Umar is that he's just a talker. He hypes you up with emotions like a preacher. He gives you 3-word cadence over and over again, but he's not giving you anything. It's like Charlie Brown on Halloween. He goes to the door, knocks on the door, and he gets nothing in his bag but rocks. Black people are getting nothing but rocks from Umar. We don't need him talking. I'd rather them bring someone on their show who can say the same thing that Umar is saying, but they actually have real programs where they can actually help people. I'll give you a perfect example. I like to see my man George Makeham Experience be on there. He's got a real program in Philadelphia, Urban Nerds Worldwide, or someone like a Q-Butter, where they say what you will, you think about him. Q-Butter actually has a program where he's helping you. How about bring real people that are actually doing real things to talk about it? Umar is talking about things, but then on the other side of this, you can see videos where Umar is talking about let's kill the percentage of black kids, where he's talking about I would have this, but you trifling Negroes, you trifling black Negroes. So on the flip side, he's a hypocrite because he's talking about black folks like a dog and blaming us for everything. And then he's getting on these shows talking Mr. Kumbaya Black Power. Get out of here. This is a man who doesn't even take care of his own kids. Come on now. Let's not get dirty and nasty here, but I will. This man doesn't take care of his own kids. This man talks about, this man's got child support issues that he hasn't dealt with properly. This man's a hypocrite. Every time you turn around, he keeps talking about women body parts. Then he's having a wedding where he's marrying 2 black women, 1 light skin, 1 brown skin. What is he doing? He's pushing colorism on little kids that are around him at that wedding. Remember Nappy Yankee when he did those ceremonies, those fake ceremonies, and he had a boy and a girl, and he's sending these messages like, is this what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to get married to a man with another woman. He's sending very mixed messages. Very mixed messages. This is not a man
all of that
we need to have on the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club, there's plenty of brothers and sisters out here who are actually doing the real work, who need to be on the show being interviewed by Breakfast Club. The problem is they don't have a following like he has. So the Breakfast Club is looking for what? Only to get ratings, as I said before. And as a result, you got to ask yourself, is Breakfast Club really in the best interest of black people when they're bringing someone on their show that they already know is questionable? Because remember when Honor said that Charlemagne did a video or he did something where he called Umar out? And then you say to yourself, why didn't he say a word to Umar on the Breakfast Club show? Because he knows that Umar's full of crap. They just got to get the ratings. That's all this is.
Well, thank you for that. And I do agree with you. But like you said, Dr. Umar has a following. So if Q Putter comes on there and stuff, I mean, where's his school? It's in the East, or is it in Bushwick somewhere?
His school is right down the block from Trey Whitfield's school. If you go, if you look online, Xanax, you'll get the address. I saw that it's right down the block, ironically.
Yeah, basically,
from Trey Whitfield's school.
To be correct here, what Q Butter has, he has an educational institute. It's not technically in the sense of a school, but it's an educational institute where kids come there after they go to school and they learn.
It's like an after school program,
right? But
back in the day, I'm 47.
Yes,
back
sir.
in the day, they had after school programs. Because why? They understood that, hey, look, by the time the kids get home, their parents aren't there. My mom didn't get home until like 6 o'clock. School let out like at 3:30. Right. So they had after school programs where you did your homework. You played games, stuff like that. So yeah, that school at Cuba that I saw when I was on Brandon's channel, and it's a nice school. He was teaching they were building like car, like little RC cars.
Right.
I really commend him on for that.
Because they're doing STEM. He's letting the kids are being exposed to things that they may not be exposed to in their regular school, which is fantastic. Then I have another brother that dear to me by the name of George Makem. He lives in Philadelphia. He has a program called Urban Nerds Worldwide. And what he's doing, he's working with the kids within the community of Philadelphia. He has a legitimate nonprofit. He has a website where you really get a tax write-off and you actually see him, unlike Umar Johnson, he actually puts up video where you see him with kids, taking them places, doing things with them, educating them. And he has a partner who's a scientist. So he takes care of the science part with the kids. And his whole thing is that he wants to promote that it's okay to be a nerd, to read books, to be into science as a black person, and to put the guns down. And he has T-shirts and various things that you can purchase that helps the program that promotes these things. What I'm saying is people like that, you don't see them on the Breakfast Club because he don't have millions of people that follow him. And he's not on his YouTube channel every day saying, donate, right? He'll just say, look, this is what I got. We got a website. If you want to support the program, go right ahead. I'm going to show you what we're doing so you see what you're getting into. He don't get up there like Umar walking in graveyard sites and walking down obscure blocks in the street talking about hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal 1,000 times a day, man. Come on now.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it. I'm not that hard up on Umar, like not hard up.
I'm gonna go ahead and put in Information Man's Marlon Mack interview. I put it in the chat. Empire that you can jump in anytime. But yeah, I mean, that's like, again, we hate to lay it down on you like this, but it just is what it is. This is what it is with Umar, bro. Go ahead, Empire.
No problem. I just wanted to, wait my turn. I love to hear you all having your conversation, and I'm on a panel with 3 other men. So, as the lady of the panel, I'm not really going to kind of jump in and do the interrupting thing with
No,
men
that's
on the
okay.
panel.
No,
But
I
I
don't know how
wanted to
those other
say,
brothers feel. You can talk whenever you want. You the woman on here. We should treat you like the only queen on here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I wanted to say that Information Man, who I also call the GOAT, he took the thought right out of my mind. So, yes, Umar Johnson does sometimes say things that are totally accurate and correct, but I haven't heard him say anything accurate or correct that isn't common sense. So, for example, he says, children do better when a father is in the home. To me, that's common sense, right? He says, especially young boys do better with a father in the home because boys tend to need more structure and the father provides that. To me, that is common sense. He says things like, well, our intimate relationships are broken in communities of color because there's difficulty in the communication between the women and men. And part of that is caused by us listening to what society says our relationship should look like, instead of coming together and saying, okay, what should it look like for us? That is common sense. So, yes, sometimes he says things that are true, but I don't believe, just like Info said, that we need him to say those things. Those things to me are common sense for functioning adults.
That's true. That's true. But not. I mean, the phrase is common sense, but common sense is not common among most people. And I'm not gonna do the whole Republican self-deprivation thing where black people are just inherently backwards, but you have, like, right now, my wife. I know I may sound bad. My wife is a teacher, right? Every Friday, she's out right now at a church donating her time to youth doing mentorship, right? So this is what she does ever since I met her. This is all that she does. She's worked for the board. She works for the Board of Ed. She loves doing that. Even there's some kids, she used to work at a group home. Some kids, the girls that aged out, like, I have a goddaughter now because she took such a liking to one of the girls there, saw the potential with those girls. She's like, look, I'm not even gonna go through their circumstances. They go such damning circumstances, and these girls are very smart. They just have no one there to encourage them. Like, you know how much money we spent on the little on my goddaughter, on her, just to get her on her feet the way they are, because not everybody cares. Some people think it's just a goddamn job. So you got your Q butters, you got people like my wife and other people. She got other people do the same thing. She's like 21, 22 now. She aged out when she was 18. And there's a lot of them that we still keep in contact. So I know you're saying it's common sense, but not everyone has that. And I don't want to make this dude a topic. When you listen to Brandon, when you listen to him, he has a very tragic life, and I kind of feel sorry for him. This is a guy that says that his mother wasn't there, his mother was a bad parent,
Right.
his father's in jail.
I'm glad you noticed that, bro. Again, look,
horrible things.
Yeah.
So when someone says something bad about black people, you can't tell them no. He's like,
but
niggas ain't shit. What are you talking about?
Kofi, let me just say this. He's a hood Republican, and most hood Republicans, I mean, he was in a gang before. All right. Yep. He said that he doesn't drink or smoke, but he was in a gang. So basically, the way I see it, and I don't hate him. I just think,
I feel sorry for him. I don't hate him either.
Like, you define him. I mean, he's a conservative Republican, but basically, most of these hood Republicans, they're around the worst element of our community. He was in a gang. He banged before. So eventually, plus with his upbringing, and he's been to jail, he's gonna see black people through that type of lens. Exactly. And this is why some of the wild stuff he says out of his mouth, like he said the other day, well, the water situation in Mississippi is because black people weren't paying their water bill.
Yeah.
Forget
about crazy.
Forget about the fact that the biggest story in Mississippi is a white millionaire, multi-millionaire, stealing millions of dollars from welfare. That didn't have any effect on the county at all.
Was it like what, Tom Brady or one of them taking money from it?
It was Brett Favre. Dude, yeah. So this is what I'm saying. I'll sit there and listen like, dude, say what? But so yeah, I understand. And some of the things you're gonna agree with, but just prepare yourself for something wild to come out of his mouth. Like, what did you just say?
He
So,
said, it's crazy. Like he said, like when we talk about Nick Fuentes, he said everything that Nick Fuentes said is right.
Oh God. Listen, he said January 6th wasn't a big deal. Again, it just, and we're talking about Pan-Africanism strikes back. I mean, Information Man has you buck heads with them before. Again, it's
over and over again, but he's very disingenuous. Like one time, reason why, real quick, how me and him fell out, we're just having a conversation, and up to this day, bro, I was saying Donald Trump is a pedophile. He gonna say Democrats are a whole bunch of pedophiles because Joe Biden inappropriately just kissed little girls. And I was okay, that's funny, but that's no comparison to Donald Trump. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, Trump never happened." And I shit you not.
Yeah.
I said, "What are you talking about?" Donald Trump said all these things. He said he wanted to fuck his daughter and all this other stuff. And he went to a beauty pageant with 15-year-old girls, and he walked into their dressing room. You know what his response was? And my sons heard this. I was on live. My sons heard this. My sons go around saying this. He said, "Hey, bro, they asked him to judge it." That was his fucking response when you said Trump walked in on 14, 15 fucking year old girls, but this nigga walk around keep saying, oh, protect our children, protect our children. Hey. And try to say that I'm a pedophile because I voted for Joe Biden.
Listen, go ahead, Information.
Well, I'm about to get off pretty soon, but I just want to say, in terms of the topic, that it was said in the chat room that he said February 23rd that the school would be open.
Yeah.
And we know, I guarantee you, I'm willing to take a bet wager with anybody here that he's going to move the goalpost up and say, oh, I had to change the date because this happened or what have you. This saga with Umar Johnson, I said this before. It's going to sound funny to you guys. Umar Johnson is black people. He's our sci-fi. He's our sci-fi story. He's like a Twilight Zone story, a night gallery story. It's just something about him that's magical. He continues to get money from black people. He continues to push the gold ladder of this school. He is our sci-fi story, because how has he been able to do this and people still believe in him and no school has been built?
Yeah.
And you got people, now you got kids you got people who have kids and their kids are now grown adults that have been waiting on this school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when will his magical, and I use magical powers as a metaphor for what he's doing, but one of these magical powers of persuasion that he has, because you got to be honest, let's just be honest here, Nappy Yankee. I always say this, and you hear me say this. Black people are the most religiously oriented people damn near in the world. What do I mean by that? Most of us have grown up where we had an aunt, a grandmother, a father, whoever that were religious, that were Christian, and they either took us to church and we heard the preacher's cadence, or we've either heard a preacher, a black preacher before, and they have a cadence to them. What does Umar Johnson do? Hit the Cash App, hit the Cash App. Where does he get that from? The preacher does the same thing in church. He'll repeat passages from the Bible over and over again to get it into your head self-consciously and consciously, right? So we've grown up being used to a religious dogma or a religious doctrine, which makes us acceptable emotionally to people like an Umar, who gives us a very familiar cadence, which is the preacher's cadence. So when he talks very highfalutin, he says highfalutin words, and he promises you these big things, and he always comes up with the data of what he's talking about. That's the same as a preacher who says, let me go to verse such and such here to prove his point. Well, what does he do? Umar says something about black people, and he pulls something out of history to reinforce his point, to get you emotionally tied in, to follow him. He's no different. Many of these guys are no different than the preacher cadence. Same thing when you look at pimps.
Yeah.
Why have pimps been effective in some of our communities? Because the pimps grew up watching the preacher pushing the same cadence.
Yeah.
This is going to be off beaten path. When you look at someone like James Brown, if you learned the history of James Brown and why he danced and moved the way he did, and he would have the cape put over him, because James Brown was religiously oriented as a child. He watched the preacher's movements and he mimicked it on stage.
Yeah. I know.
All right, y'all, I got to get out of here. I love you, Empire
Information,
Esquire.
man.
You take care.
Thank you so much. I will put your link in the
Thank
chat
you,
again.
Good talking to you.
I put the link in the chat of Information's Man interview with. I'll put it in there again. All right.
Hey, and that come check out the show tomorrow.
I will,
because what I'm going to display tomorrow, through video and various evidence, is going to make a lot of people rethink if they got hate towards Deion Sanders in this whole situation with him leaving the school. When you find out the things that he was doing down there in Mississippi, in that part of Mississippi, it's going to make you say, well, maybe Deion may not really be a sellout as we think. Now, leaving Jackson State, it is a blow. And I also have some footage. There's a young lady, and I tried to contact her because I really want to get her on the program. There's a young lady that has a beautiful YouTube channel that goes to Jackson State, and she went around interviewing all the students, or some of the students, and some of them are not stressing over it, and some of them are a little upset.
Somebody defaced them earlier, so mixed bag.
There's some students that are saying, well, it doesn't affect me because he really was here. It was really benefiting the football team, but the regular students, we didn't get any really benefit from him being there. But then there's some people that are saying, well, no, he had a lot of money come into our economy that really helped the school and helped the community. So there's all kind of mixed thoughts about it. But, I wish this whole thing wouldn't have happened, because it's, I want to see everybody win. I want to see the HBCUs win. I want to see Jackson State win. I want to see Black people win. But things happen. He's a grown man. He's going to make a decision whether we like it or not. He's got a family. But his son, I think, Shiloh Sanders, is not very happy with his daddy because he didn't show up to the when they went to Boulder, Colorado. He looked at the facilities. The son is very upset with him. Because the son doesn't want to leave. He wants his son to come play at Colorado. Yeah, that's the other big news out there. The son has been in a little of a feud with his father about this whole movement. But anyway, I'll talk about that tomorrow. But it should be an interesting program, and I appreciate all of you. Take care. Peace.
And I will tune in. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem at all.
And Empowered Esquire has come back. I did want to ask Empowered Esquire just a couple of legal questions, if you don't indulge me a bit, because two things happened as of late. All right. And I had mentioned when Cosby got let go, I mean, obviously he was sent to jail 3 years ago, got out, all right, on, some say a technicality or whatever. And people were cheering. And I said back then, listen, there's going to be other cases that are going to come back at him, and everybody thought it was a win. Well, here we are yet again. We're 5. They put 5. Cosby got 5 on it. All right. 5 more women who accused him before now has him back in court. So, I mean, do they have any, is there any way they could send him back to jail? I mean, what is the goal here? I mean, besides maybe, extract money from him. I mean, what, any thoughts on that? Have you seen it at all?
I actually have not heard about that. I think people are probably fatigued with talking about all the different Bill Cosby stuff, and that's why we haven't heard much about it. But my question would be, is this civil court or is this criminal court?
I think it's got to be civil court. It's probably civil court. I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's civil court. I have to read it again. Hold on. It may be civil court. See, breaks the silence. A case against him.
If it's civil court, they probably just want to run up a bag.
Yeah, probably looking for a bag, but yeah, that's one of them with that as far as that's concerned. But yeah, but you're right. They may be tired of it, but yeah, that's one thing, and also, um,
So it's five women suing him in civil court together, or is this just a lawsuit with
it's
one woman
no, it's five women suing him,
in
five
civil
women
court
suing him.
together?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So they may have done that because so if you followed the cases in the past, which I know you have to a certain extent, it's
Mm-hmm.
been difficult to push forward these civil cases with individual incidents when it comes to Bill Cosby because
Mm-hmm.
many of these incidents are so old. So
Yeah.
they had difficulty with, the I was, SA'd. I don't use that word on YouTube, but the
Mm-hmm.
I was SA'd, 40 years ago or 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult to prove on your own. So one thing that
Mm-hmm.
I discuss on my channel a lot is how you usually cannot use a person's past behavior against them in court. Usually. But as I'm
Mm-hmm.
always saying, the exception to that is when you prove a pattern of behavior. So the
Mm-hmm.
reason why it's probably five women doing this one suit together is because
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to go for pattern of behavior. They're trying to make
Right.
their individual cases stronger by saying he essayed all of us in the same manner. This is his pattern.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we know. I mean, I pretty much made my decision on it. I mean, after like this, where there's smoke, there's fire, and people still holding out hope. I mean, this is like this is old news to me. But speaking of something that happened long ago, just another quick question. Now, obviously, you've seen the Jerry Jones situation. Now, I know that this happened. He's 80 years old now. This happened when he was 14. But my thing is this: obviously, you can't prove what's in a person's heart, but you can prove what is on camera. And one thing you notice about that photo of Jerry Jones, there were cameras around. And I believe, I mean, this is just me, if it was someone who wasn't as rich, if it was someone of a certain color, they would find a way to get what's on that camera, find out what's going on. And even if Jerry Jones wasn't in the camera, you can see the hostility that's going on. Is there a way that people can, if they got the film of that, is there any way they can use that against him to make a case that he should um let go of the Cowboys?
I don't think so. And there's a number of reasons. So the first reason is there's a saying, it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right?
Mm,
So if you notice, a lot of our current figures have very, 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 very shady past, right?
mm,
And a lot of them
mm,
are older men now. So you
yeah.
are mentioning like Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They fall into that same group of men who are older men now with
Mm,
shady past. That goes
mm,
for both of them. And so the
mm,
thing is, if we're going to forgive and forget when it comes to certain people, then
mm,
that has to apply to everyone. So I'm
mm,
almost certain that even if they find this video, that shows, I don't know, Jerry Jones being actively involved in, I think he was
mm,
there protesting the integration of a school, right?
yep.
So even if they find some video that proves that he was more so involved, I'm
Mm,
sure what will happen is that people will say, like, I think Stephen A. Smith already said this,
he
he's
did.
changed or he's nice now or
Mm,
whatever, right? I'm sure they'll make that same argument that he is somehow magically changed because he's an old man now.
mm,
And
mm,
we won't be able to go against that much as large society because we also want to benefit from that, right? We want to believe that if we do something not so great, we can get older, grow older,
mm,
I should say, and change.
mm.
So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We have to apply it across the board then.
True. And well, with Cosby, and again, I'm no fan of his, but with him, there's no camera and no nothing, and there's just like rumors and what have you. And with Jerry, there's a camera standing right there. So you're right. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You think that they would use that with Cosby, but they're not. So if they're gonna try, they basically want to send him back to prison. If anything, that's basically what I think it is. But with Jerry, if you can't with that, you can't just at least question whether he or his family should have the team. And he is a very powerful owner. with a lot of money. So I know it makes it harder, but it's just fantasy. You know what I mean?
Right. And you know what I think the thing is with Bill Cosby, why they won't so easily forgive and forget?
Mm-hmm.
Part of it with Bill Cosby is that he hasn't expressed, and maybe that's because he really feels that he's innocent, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that he's expressed this remorse. And I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to tell you what I really think they want from him is remorse. I think they
Yeah.
want, I'm so sorry. I apologize for the things that I did. And I don't think that Bill Cosby will ever
He'll
give them
never do that.
really what they want.
He'll never. He's just not in him. He would never do that, because if he did that, I think maybe it'll open up another can of worms. Who knows? You know, but I just, even if it didn't, I just don't think it's within him to do that. But anything on the agenda? I know that you said you were going to move your channel in a little different direction, right? And I know that your channel is going to be more of, and correct me if I'm wrong, kind of a inspirational channel, a channel that's more about life and everything. Is there anything up on the horizon with the Empowered Esquire? Like, what is your next idea for your video?
So I have the Be Empowered series, which is
Right.
kind of how we're beginning the transition. And in the Be Empowered series, I just select different persons that have very, very inspiring stories, have overcome some really harrowing, really challenging things. And I invite them on the show to share their story with my viewers and really to give that life experience of how to overcome. We're in a, microwave social media society where people show you the highlight reels of their life.
Yes.
And people
Yes.
do not discuss challenges or how to overcome challenges, and they'll have you believe that their life is perfect. So the Empowered series is really about inviting people on who are authentic and can help to guide the audience in how to navigate life's challenges. And so I plan to have another episode up, I'd say before the new year. We currently already have 2 episodes up on the channel. As I said, the series is called Be Empowered, and I won't spoil it by telling everyone the stories of the guests thus far, but it's definitely something you should tune in for.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Or even stories like I don't know, like law stories, interesting cases. I know that you're moving away from all this, the celebrity cases and everything. I get that, but some of the cases make quite interesting stories. Actually, on my last video, there was a case that I saw. I guess I forgot about it. A 14-year-old black man that was arrested at 14 years old by a crooked cop. It was actually right here in New York, and he had to spend 27 years in prison, and he just got out. And I was like, listen, regardless of what, I mean, it's glad that he's out, but he's never going to be the same. I mean, you've seen it, the Central Park Five, the oldest guy, that guy, I know they got millions of stuff, but he's like psychologically destroyed after that experience, and I guess he caught the brunt of it because he's the oldest. But I think that some of these cases, the stories are kind of interesting about how some of them may have persevered, or how some of them may have gone through, and even how the money itself may not help them to get through it. But it's quite interesting. I mean, there are people, I'm sure, in your profession, they may find themselves in a courtroom facing dire consequences, and like 2 seconds ago they were in the lunchroom talking with their friends about sports, things that your life can change around in a heartbeat. No.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are some really interesting cases coming out right now. And in the celebrity space as well. The reason why I decided to take my channel in a different direction was just to have some more positivity on the channel, and I think that was more so a personal choice. But when you're talking about like wrongful convictions and cases of that nature, the thing about those cases is, yes, the person, as you said, gets released and then they get this cash settlement and all of that. But a lot of the things that we don't consider is how that person's life has changed. So to kind of exemplify that, I'm going to use someone who is only in jail for, let's say, 2 to 3 days, right? So let's say person A is picked up because he's believed to have been abusing his girlfriend. It turns out that, he didn't necessarily abuse her. She kind of invented the story, which this happens a lot, by the way. Because because he already has a record that appears to show a penchant for violence, he's picked up. He's picked up now. He's booked. Formal charges. He's arraigned. He sees a judge. I mean, right now we're in probably day 2 or day 3. Now, if he has a regular job, just regular 9-to-5 employment, he's probably been missing work. If he has been missing that many days of work of a regular, not a career, a regular job, he probably at this point is losing or has lost his job.
Yes.
Not to mention if he has any home responsibilities, such as taking care of children or taking care of elderly family members, who's doing that with the 2 to 3 days that he's been in holding?
Right.
Can I ask you a question? I don't mean to cut you off because I don't know if it's because what you're saying is very similar. I mean, it's kind of over that I went through. So what I basically went through is basically someone maliciously saying I committed a crime when I did not commit a crime. And I didn't know these people were actually looking for me. And they found me, basically they say I committed a horrendous crime of robbery and threatening someone's life, which I didn't do. And come to find out later on, I was arrested and in jail for a week in holding when I wasn't supposed to be arrested and in jail in holding. And I'm a working man with a career. So basically they say I committed strong robbery while I was on vacation with my wife and children. And I had to miss work for like a week. So this is something that does happen. It actually happened to me. And the lawyer that I had at the time, basically how I found out this happened, because I registered my car out of state at my mother's house in Georgia, and I was getting mails from lawyers say, hey, I can represent you. I'm like, represent me? What are you talking about? And that's how I basically found out. Now, Empowered Esquire, I don't know if I should be talking about this case because it's something that I am going to sue. It's basically happened in the state of New Jersey. So should I be talking?
No. If you're going to sue them, stop right here.
Okay. All right. So I just basically want to talk to what you're saying is something that does happen to people every day. It's not an after school special. It's not Lifetime. This happens in real life. And like you said, it could destroy your life.
And like, again, that's an interesting story right there, man.
Right.
That's an interesting story right there.
2 to 3 days and the person's life is destroyed. So imagine years in prison. What their life looks like when they're released. And you can't fix that. Money cannot fix that. You know, your mother may pass away while you're incarcerated. Your father may pass. You never know what could happen. And the money does not fix that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. And again, if you want to learn a little bit more about law, all right, Empowered Esquire, she has all the videos here. And, you know, I know a lot of y'all like celebrity, but she looks at it from a very legalized standpoint.
I am subscribing to your channel.
Yeah,
You're very informative.
And just a warning, she comes with the ruler. Okay, so, you know, if you're not listening, if you're behind in class, she'll walk up to you with the ruler. So, you know, just a warning. But yeah, man, definitely. And also, Kofi, you have a platform as well. All right.
Yes, sir.
And I will be putting both of your platforms in the chat as well. A bunch of people in the building. And, you know, we've been down here for 3 hours. This was a good live. All right. This was a good live. I hope to have more like this. Anything that you guys want to say before we leave this live? Any closing statements on Papa and his buffoonery on the Breakfast Club? And Kofi, you got a little homework to do, but any last words? And we'll start with Kofi first.
Like I said, I'm listening. You know, I don't believe in hero worship.
Right.
So, you know, there's good in people. You know, I try to let that good in people blind me from the nefarious things that they're probably doing. And what he's saying is what you guys are saying. You look like you guys did a lot of homework. And what the other brother said, which was very good. It will be a lot better if you were to open up an online school and did homeschooling.
Yep.
You reach more people that way. Not everyone lives in that area, you know. And if they're always pushing homeschooling. You know, what's going to school is you know, in this day and age is bad. You got all different types of teachers. That's a very good idea, and the fact that he didn't do that yet, as smart as he is, says a lot to it. But that's basically about it. Good live nap. Empowered Esquire. Thank you very much for that information. I kind of do need a lawyer, but I'm definitely going to subscribe to your channel, and thank you for that information. It was my first time meeting you. You sound like a very lovely lady, and I'm looking forward to reviewing more of your content. Thank you both.
Thank you, Kofi. Empowered Esquire. It's really that I have two people from Yard on my platform, so this is a first. But go, because you're part Jamaican as well, right? Right, Empowered.
Yes, I'm first generation American Jamaican parents.
Yeah, so you know, he got Kofi's from Yard too. So this is good. I think I'll make a habit of this. But go ahead.
Yeah, so too bad Kofi's gone, but I'm sure he probably can still hear me. It was nice meeting you as well, Kofi. I'm going to check out your channel as well. And my final statement on this is this. We already know what Umar Johnson is going to say. We already know what the Breakfast Club is going to say. So my question to everyone here is, what are we doing? We don't like the way that this is happening. We don't like the way that this is going. So how can we be a living, walking example of better? You know, when people talk about like, oh, well, Umar Johnson doesn't support his children, right? That might be true. But do you know men who don't support their children? And do you hang out with them like it's okay and not address it with them and not say, hey, I know that, you know, you're not supporting little Sally or little Johnny. That's not right. You need to help their mom, right? So all of these people that we've never actually met, or these quote unquote public figures, we can discuss them, that's fine. But when it comes down to it, what's going to fix the things that we experience in our everyday lives is actually addressing the things that are happening in our personal life right now.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's something to take. And yes, what you said about the Breakfast Club, but trust me, this is about the Breakfast Club as well. And all of these, the Breakfast Club, the Fox Soul, all of these so-called channels that are supposed to be for Black people that are anything but, you know. So believe me, the Breakfast Club is on trial as well as Umar. Umar just happened to be the subject, but yes, you're absolutely right. And again, I want you guys, I'll put the link in the platform. Her name is Empowered Esquire. Very informative. Also have some fun as well. All right. And you know, with the information man as well. And definitely, man. And thank you so much for coming on the platform. I'm really honored for you to come here, you know. So my platform, the IQ has been bumped up a couple of notches. So thanks for coming up.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and head out now. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Naps.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Okay, that was her. And I also see Black Anonymous in the building. Okay, check out Black Anonymous is, again, all Umar. You go to Black Anonymous's platform. Information Man Child, your show you already know. Identity Withheld. We're still waiting, you know, for a little more content because you always. I mean, this dude. This is the intellect of the Umar sector, and he's put a few people on blast. So let me just say that, and especially the therapist. Now, I mean, I have that video, bro, which was a takedown, which was epic. So I have that video downloaded. But Jay the Informant, thanks. Dr. J. Kelly, thanks for coming through. Yeah, everybody, beautiful Bernice. Transcript came here as well. Hold on, let me go get Kofi's platform, and I'm gonna put that up so that you know y'all could have that. And yeah, man, um, like I said, this is about everybody, but Umar, listen, this is an ongoing saga. It's gonna continue to keep going, and unfortunately, I don't wish it to end tragically for the brother, but if it does, it wouldn't shock me. I'm just saying. I mean, if it does, it really wouldn't shock me, bro, because unfortunately, and this is the Black Critique, by the way. Let me get his channel in here. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to him. All right. You already know the information, man, but if you don't, shame on you. Listen, I didn't, and by the way, Kofi, that I guess I don't know Brandon that closely. And again, no shame towards him because I think he does put out good content, but listen. Listen, man, he's a very well a major conservative Republican, and he's on that, bro. So I'm glad that you figured that out. Information, the information man. Again, I gave you the link to his platform, and I gave you the link to that interview. Again, Marlon Mack is the guy who he interviewed. And interestingly enough, Brandon came up on that platform. So interestingly enough, at the wrong time too. So yeah, you got that, and like I said, y'all, thank you so much for coming through. And listen, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit subscribe. You know what it is. And big up on yourself, man, always. And I am out of here. Peace.